Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful, but have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
My mother will come over when she says she will. Knowing that she's always going to be there is really nice for me because I don't have to make my own cereal.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Get it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,974. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my car. And you are the Men's Room. I'll tell you today it is the random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: diversity and the most vegetarian-friendly cities. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a midterm shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack.
Drinking and drunk. All right, here we go. Missouri man points gun at multiple people before stealing one taco from a taco stand. Meanwhile, Tennessee man says the 20 vultures on his roof, that is more than he planned. Shirtless man steals a golf cart and leads police on a low-speed chase. A drunk man drives car into the liquor store and snacks type of place. And a teacher is caught with meth in her scrunchie at family fun night. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, I have never carjacked anyone before, so I'm not entirely sure what the motivation is. Is it the thrill of carjacking? Is it the goal to actually keep the car you stolen? Maybe you sell it to somebody, strip it for parts? Do you need a getaway vehicle? I don't know. I don't care. But I'm confident in my belief that if you do carjack someone, you hope that you do not get caught. Well, last month here in Seattle, a would-be carjacker, he was in fact caught and arrested. So now I think we can all agree he's having a bad day. But to add insult to injury, his day got worse for him and the arresting officers. You see, when they got him into custody, well, they were all attacked by a swarm of wasps. It's just how it goes down. Good times. Now, after being treated at the hospital, the suspect was, in fact, booked into King County Jail. But just because you're in jail, it doesn't mean you have to stay there. A Russian man has spent the last 22 years of his life in jail for a whole host of serious crimes. Well, he wasn't having it anymore, so he escaped. And any prison escape is an impressive prison escape, or so the Shawshank Redemption would have us believe. But what makes his escape particularly noteworthy is that he escaped on the same day that he was set to be released. As Axl Rose put it best, a little patience. Now, these are just some of the stories that we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and this is how it works. You call us, we'll ask you a question at completely random. And after you answer said question, we will share with you the story that inspired, the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show, the random question. Call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Before you know it, the end of the year will be here. So remember to use your vision benefits before they expire. Schedule eye exams today for the whole family by visiting PearlVision.com. Pearl Vision will cover the cost of your insurance copay or eye exam, plus they accept all major vision plans, including iMed. Valid prescription required. Valid at participating locations. Restrictions apply. Taxes extra. See store for details. Ends 12/31/23. Exams available at the independent doctors of optometry at or next to Pearl Vision. Some doctors employed by Pearl Vision.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Oh, but tell us, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3,974. What a large and a charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. The exciting return of your guess is as good as mine. Categories today. Oh, man. We have the most diverse states in America.
Diverse. I assume you mean racially diverse?
All kinds of different things. Absolutely. They want to determine where idea and identity exchanges have occurred at the highest level. So compared 50 states in 6 diversity categories. Socioeconomic, cultural, which looks at racial and ethnic diversity. Languages spoken, where people were born, economic factors, types of jobs, number of people in households, religion, political affiliation.
Okay, all right.
All those different things make up the 10 most diverse states in America. We also have the 10 least diverse states in America.
All right.
Might be easier as far as picking those places where you can go, yeah, I got a pretty good idea what's going on there.
I can guess, but then part of me thinks that I would be wrong just based on if you point out religious and socioeconomic and race, a lot of these places, aside from how they're presented nationally, when you go there, they're very, very diverse. Everyone's broke.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but they're very diverse. You know what I mean?
Sometimes.
I'm thinking.
Sometimes.
I think I'd head a little bit due north of where I generally start. I think that's where I'd begin.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. So we have for you the
corn is a cash crop,
right.
I believe. That might be it.
The most diverse states and the least diverse states. Coming up. Oh, the other category, by the way, is the top 10 cities for vegans and vegetarians.
I cannot cities?
Cities. Again.
Okay.
100 largest cities, 17 key indicators of vegan and vegetarian friendliness. Restaurants serving meatless options.
I'm going to guess not New Orleans.
Cost of vegetarians for groceries.
Not Houston.
Salad shops per capita.
Not Dallas.
All these things come into play there when you're talking about some of the places.
Not Atlanta. Just going out on a limb. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just my guess.
Access to quality food, vegetarian lifestyle. Some of the worst places for vegetarians. We have Laredo, Texas.
I can believe that.
We have Garland, Texas.
Why would you just say Texas?
Texas. We have...
vegetarian is what kind of religion? No, it's not a religion. It's my diet.
I keep pointing out each little town.
But you said you don't eat meat.
Yeah, Las Vegas, Nevada is another one of those cities. It doesn't do very well. So we've got that coming up. Those are your 2 categories with your guess is as good as mine. Diversity and the most vegetarian and vegan friendly cities.
I mean, in Vegas's defense, though, most people in Vegas are on vacation. So you're not, generally on vacation, you're probably not eating the healthiest meals.
If you're going to Vegas, I don't believe that health is on your top 5 list of priorities.
No.
There's just no way.
And then coming up for you, as we do every Monday through Friday, you get more Men's Room exclusively on the Men's Room Happy Hour. Join us for episode number 468. A lot of good times had this weekend, so we'll do little props from the weekend. Coming up with the Men's Room Happy Hour on the Odyssey app. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. Search for the Men's Room page. You'll find all things Men's Room in one location. From the Men's Room radio channel, where we get a chance to pick our own music. All of our weekly podcasts on there, the daily podcast. Listen to KISW live anywhere you go in the United States.
You can do that too, yes.
A lot of people move away and they say, hey, I really miss your radio station. Download the app and you can listen to it anywhere you go all across this great country of ours. When you're at home, when you're in your car, all those things possible. You can listen to previous episodes of our podcast. People catch up all the time.
I am amazed at how effective and efficient that's actually been. Just when we read the email for birthday requests or I'm catching up and they tell you where they live, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got it.
And obviously, not everybody can listen every day. So if you're on a road trip or doing whatever around the house, I'll put on some of the old podcasts and catch up right there on the Odyssey app.
We work together. We don't even listen every day.
Well, we get a lot of it, That is a fact.
Talk about
and
today.
if you want just the condensed version, there's a podcast there for you, too, as we have the best moments from the week, which is a condensed version of just a 45-minute podcast for some of our better moments throughout the week. So
is it actually 45 minutes?
I believe it's right around there, Mike. Is it around 45 minutes, 40 for the best stuff of the week?
Yeah, around there, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how good we are. Some episodes might only be 12 minutes. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully.
And it's someone else's show.
Yeah, hopefully they're longer than that. And today is the day that we do our random question. Question 206-803.
Random.
Hello, Tanner. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, guys.
Hola.
Tanner, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, let's start with this one. Okay, growing up or even as an adult, what would you say is your all-time favorite board game?
Ooh, that's tough.
Favorite board? I'd say probably just Chutes and Ladders or Manicala. Oh, Army. Army is a good one. That's on a board game. So probably just Chutes and Ladders. That was pretty old school.
That old school in the sense of, I believe, children play it.
Yeah, between ages 4 and 6.
I don't even remember how to play it. In fact, when my kids were much younger and we had to you buy all those kinds of games, I was saying the Candyland was one that we bought. And somehow my wife remembers the rules of all things. And I'm like, I have not played this, honest to God, like 48 years. I don't remember how to play it. Oddly enough, I'm bad at it.
Well, there's a lot of stuff at Candyland. I recently played, and I'm with you. I was shocked. I forgot all those damn rules.
I can't believe that I remembered all of that as a child. You know, I'm like, there were this many. Then I'm like, did they update this thing? She's like, no, this is how you play the game.
I truly believe on board games, no matter who's in charge or whose game it is, they are not getting all of the rules correct. Yeah, I mean, very rarely do people read the terms of your service agreement. So when you're looking at the bottom of that box, you got a general idea. But those people who really know how to play it, especially with games like Scrabble and Risk and some of the ones that are a bit more complicated.
You could play the same board game in 8 different places, right? And you go, okay, well, my family plays it this way. And you go, all right, when I play with my friends, we play it this way. You go, yeah, okay. Yep. The rules are mostly the same. What about you, man? As a kid,
obviously, it depends on the situation. I definitely like a game of Trivial Pursuit.
I love Trivial Pursuit.
I don't like the brown pie, obviously. That's the one I struggle with the most.
Nobody likes the brown pie. All right?
I still like the game.
That one's tough.
It's always that
That's
last
what arts
piece
and
for
literature,
my
right?
team. Yes.
Yeah. That pisses me off on Jeopardy. You get what? It's geography or something like that. Sports and entertainment or just entertainment? I don't remember.
Twister's actually fun, depending on the company and what's going on. It is, in fact, a board game to some extent. Well, you got a spinner, but you are on the board.
The last time I played Twister, and this is not a lie, it's probably 30 years ago, a little bit over 30 years ago, and there's a guy named Nicky that worked at this bar, and we were cool with him. We weren't quite friends, but we always got along. We saw him all the time. The bar's closing down. Says to me and my buddy Tony, hey, man, he doesn't say we're going to play Twister. He goes, I'm throwing a party at my house. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm throwing a party. We're like, it starts now? He's like, yeah, like tonight. You guys want to swing by? My buddy Tony, he hems and haws because that's what he does. I go, man, let's just go. We don't have to stay. So we go there. And when we walk into this place, and I don't know how this guy Nicky pulled it off, but we walk in, there's all these chicks wearing lingerie. Right? I mean, like there's like maybe 4 other dudes there. We're outnumbered by chicks in lingerie. And his rundown little house, these hot chicks could not believe it. So when you walk in, you kind of immediately step into his kitchen. So we're drinking beers, we're looking at these chicks, and Nicky just has this ass-eating grin. He understands where our brains are. And this girl walks into the doorway and says, do you guys want to play Twister? I'm like, yes, I do. And it's just these hot chicks.
Game on.
Oh, yeah.
Game on.
I am not limber.
Trying to think of the board games that I don't like as much.
I hate Monopoly.
I did not mind backgammon growing up, but I still don't know. I need to remember how to play. I need a refresher to go back and play, but I definitely remember once I got into it, I liked it.
I mean, I like Monopoly. It just takes so long.
It takes long. People get so upset. And I'm just like, man. And it's like, are you getting upset because you lost money, or are you getting upset because we're getting tired? You know what I mean? Right. We've been playing forever. But I would say Trivial Pursuit. The other one I enjoy is Cranium. Because there's something fun about watching people either draw things or try to sculpt things, and you realize where people have Ted and I used to crush, is it Pictionary? It was Pictionary. My wife and his girlfriend at the time insisted that we were cheating, and we really weren't. We just said, no, dude, we kind of understand each other as far as the image you're going to put down, and I want to say the thing that set them over the top, where they didn't want to play with this anymore, was Captain Caveman.
Yep, that was it. Me and my cousin Tom, we got banned from playing with our family because of a picture of Hercules I drew. Right. That same thing. Tom and I are just close, so it's pretty simple.
Yeah, you understood each other. We're not playing. I'm like, this is not a game to make people mad.
I do like Risk, but me and my cousins played it one year when we were in high school over like Easter break. And I'm going to say we played it for like 4 days, and then we still weren't even playing absolutely correctly.
How would you know? Which was, there was Risk, and then there was Stratego. My brother used to play Stratego.
The game of life was not an easy game to play.
It seems like it should be more fun.
It's not. And it's a lot like the actual...
You get pissed off.
It's a lot like life. Reese, what is your favorite board game? A limited edition Costco version of Monopoly was announced 10 days ago, Ted, and it's already sold out online, unfortunately. You won't be able to find it at your favorite Costco. Selling them for $45. People are now hawking them on eBay for twice that much. What? It's like all the other special edition Monopoly games. Same game, just different details. But these are all Costco themed, obviously. The Chance and Community Chess cards look like Costco membership cards. Instead of Boardwalk and Park Place, all the properties are Costco locations around the world.
That's kind of awesome.
Okay. Yep. Game pieces, they're different too. No thimble or boot. These 6 tokens are. Any guesses?
A hot dog. Tray.
A hot dog and soda combo.
Shrimp?
Shrimp is not on the list.
Damn it.
Is it all from is it like a chicken bake? Or like a giant cart?
Okay, that's not a bad. There is a shopping cart.
The red flatbed little thing.
Mm-hmm. There's an employee name badge.
All right.
A giant teddy bear, whatever. A pallet mover.
Oh, yeah.
A slice of pizza from the food court. And a hot dog and soda combo. Some of their physical locations might still have them in stock. The cheapest they've seen on eBay right now is around $70 if you want to get into the Monopoly Costco lifestyle.
Random.
Hello, Jake. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Jake, welcome to the program. Random question. This might be the hardest question we've ever asked.
Okay.
What is your all-time favorite pastry? Pastry.
To me, this is easy. Hands up.
Fans, I guess I go with a donut.
You say a donut?
That or an apple turnover, yeah.
What kind of donut specifically?
I like the fruit-filled one.
Okay. I am a glazed or a French cruller fan.
I'm right there with it.
French cruller's pretty tough.
I like a cream-filled donut, but those are the 2 standard donuts. I like a lot of different donuts.
I like almost every donut that you make available, but yeah, if you said, look, you just got to get something basic, no problem with the glaze. Like
even chocolate frosted glaze, like a top.
They're fine.
Those are great.
But I don't know that I count donuts as a pastry though. Like they're their own separate things in my world.
Well, like Krispy Kreme is more like a pastry.
Fair.
Of donuts,
it's not as heavy.
The flakiness is
right. It's not right. Like Top Pot's a cake forged. That's a thick donut.
Well, you got to ruin this for me.
I prefer
so donuts aren't pastry. Where's your cutoff on pastry? Like donuts just its own subgenre.
Like a croissant, a buttered croissant is technically a pastry.
What about like a cheese Danish or like an apple Danish?
Yeah,
but aren't they close enough to strudels? A donut? Or are they like the missing link between?
I could be wrong because generally when you see a pastry tray, it'll still have donuts on there. Donuts to me are so good they exist in their own world, and then pastries are like fancier.
To me, if Little Debbie makes it, it's even if it's just little tiny donuts, or if it's a strudel, or
it's the first search. I put is a donut and finish. Is it a pastry? To start with the basics, a donut is a sweet pastry that is usually ring. Okay, we know what it looks like.
People love bear claws around here.
Will intentionally design them oval shapes filled in wet fruit fillings or custard. So apparently. So it is a pastry, but they say a lot of professional bakers, Ted, kind of your point, if they sell pastries as opposed to selling donuts, they'll intentionally design them to be oval shapes and then fill them with light fruit fillings so that it appears more as a pastry.
That's what I'm saying.
But otherwise, if it's not sweet, a croissant. You can put almost anything on a croissant. I think it's better. Man, when I see a sandwich on a croissant.
People love apple fritters.
I like them. It's just not something that happens frequently enough in my life.
They're big.
For the consideration.
And an apple fritter is like, that's what you're eating that morning for breakfast. Whereas, like, you could have bacon and eggs and still have a donut.
What about, if I go to the fair and get elephant ear pastry?
To me, a funnel cake is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think by definition they probably are.
Right.
But
you're not feeling it.
I'm not. Like, to me, pastries are like fancy cheese danishes, croissants.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Reason we asked, what is your favorite pastry? We head north to Anchorage, Alaska. in a Krispy Kreme donut van that was stopped outside of a store on Anchorage's Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson during the delivery. Driver usually left his doors open when he stopped in the store, but this time a sow and one of her cubs that loitered nearby sauntered inside, where they stayed for 20 minutes. The store manager said the bears chomped down on donut holes and other pastries, ignoring the banging on the side of the van that was aimed at shooing them away.
Because they're eating donuts.
I was beating on the van. They ain't moving. I could hear them breaking open the packages and everything. I was like, they don't even care. When the bears could be roused, base security was called and sounded sirens meant to scare them away. The bears eventually came out of the Krispy Kreme donut van and wandered in front of the convenience store and gas station before heading into the woods. They say it's not unusual to see bears on base or around the store, but nothing like this has happened before. More of the Random Question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Don't forget, coming up Sunday, a little party. Ryan Castle's 20th anniversary party. That's going down at Tony V's up in Everett. Doors open at 7 o'clock this Sunday night as we celebrate Ryan Castle, who's been here for over 20 years.
How has he not lost his job?
I don't know.
We have actively campaigned for that.
I don't know what our deal is with our parties, but he got Saving Able to play his.
What?
Yeah, so he's got Saving Able.
I see how it is.
He's got like a DJ that we like rented from a wedding service. Join us this Sunday night. Ryan Castle's hometown of Everett will celebrate 20 years with a lot of drinks and a lot of food, and of course, Saving Able playing. Details and tickets at KISW.com.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that Everett is his original stomping grounds, right?
That's right. Oh, yeah. That's where he's born and raised.
Born and braised.
Born and braised, yes.
And braised.
Yeah, he's like that's
where he gets covered in juice.
Yeah.
He gets braised.
Cannibal family. Hello, Zach. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Boo, bitches.
Boo.
Zach, welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, let's go
before
this
we
one.
get started, Miles, I want to give a shout out to my neighbor Bob at here at KBJ Welding in Granite Falls. We're always listening on the Odyssey app. AUDACY, baby.
Tell him we appreciate that, man.
All right.
That's very cool.
But wait, why are you giving him a shout out? Certainly you have other neighbors. What makes Bob so special?
I don't have other neighbors, but he's just a good guy. He's always doing me favors if I ever need anything.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, on that tip then, what is the strangest thing or the oddest request that someone has asked for you to do for them?
Oh, boy. When I was a younger chap, I had a married couple of friends who... I guess we're into swinging or something.
All right.
They didn't ask me to swing with them or anything. They wanted me to record stuff for them.
And did you?
Hell no.
Really? Why not? What was your...
No.
Why not?
It was a long thing. I went to high school with this girl. It was a long... It was just too much history, and yeah, it would have been weird for me.
Had you been with this chick before?
Kind of, not been with her, but kind of, yeah.
All right, you hit a couple bases, not quite a home run. So
exactly, yeah.
Did they just openly ask you? Did they say like, "Hey, we have a weird request," or were they just like, "Yo, man, grab a camera and record"?
So the girl I was dating at the time, they were good friends with her, and that's how we got reconnected to talking. And basically, they asked her if they wanted her to join in the. She wanted if she wanted to join in the three-way, and. She was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they asked me this and that, blah, blah, blah." And the next thing I know, like a day or two later, I got a message and I was like, "Hey, we have a question for you." And I thought they were going to ask me the same thing, but they asked me if I could record stuff.
All right, now let me ask you, on some level, are you offended that they asked your girlfriend to join? They just asked you to record.
Honestly, at the time, I think I was a little bit butthurt. Like, now, but I got it. You know what I mean? I got it. She was a lot more attractive than yeah.
You're sleeping with her. I get it too, man.
Yeah.
So, did you just flat out say hell no? You like let me think about it? How did that work out?
Pretty much. I kind of was like, hey, give me time to mull it over, and once you guys get things set up or whatever, maybe, and just I just never got in touch with them again.
So looking back, knowing what you know now, you've had some life in between. You go back to that moment in your magic time machine. They ask you the same question. Is it still no?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it now?
Oh, hell yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm thinking.
All right.
You got to know sometimes in the moment, like just in that moment, like this is not going to be a question I am reasonably asked again. I am there, man.
Yeah.
And my money says if you're recording it at some point, they'll invite you to join the crowd.
Looking back, it's always 2020.
I know, man.
Sure.
Hey, but sometimes, I didn't need glasses for that one. It didn't matter to me. I'd be like, yep.
I think as far as odd requests, I've had a few. There was a weird one when I was working in Hagerstown, Maryland.
All right.
That was I was doing the night show for a little bit, then they moved me down to middays when another person got another job somewhere else. So they're looking to hire the night guy. So my boss is like, hey, look, he said he's going to come in on like a Friday night, spend the weekend here. We're going to take him out for drinks and dinner and all that stuff. Why don't you grab with us on Friday night? We're going to show him around the town, take him to a couple bars, do that kind of thing. So I'm like, sure, man, no problem. So we meet up with this guy, really nice guy, really, really cool guy. Either way, we're sitting at the bar later on, and my boss, David, he leans over to me and he goes, hey, I need a favor, man. And I said, sure, what do you need? He's like, I need you to let Steve stay at your house the next 2 nights.
What?
In my apartment. And I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, Kibby, our boss, she won't let the expense go through on the hotel room because she said it's too much money for the 2 nights.
You gotta be kidding me.
He doesn't have a place to stay, and he just drove in from upstate New York, like near Syracuse.
As of starting tonight?
No, exactly. He was staying at my house that night. He was going to stay
You
at
were
my
at
apartment
the bar.
for the weekend. That's correct. So apparently she got a hold of him at dinner. Like, you can't run up that much of a bar tab. You can't run up that much dinner. That's the entire budget for this guy's visit. Now you can't have a hotel room. She was just one of those people.
Right, I got you, yeah.
So it was a weird request to,
What did you do?
I just had him stay on the couch.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was living with my girlfriend. We had a 1-bedroom apartment. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Well, how do you explain it to her? Like, look, don't get pissed. This is a work thing. I don't like it. You don't like it. This dude that we don't know is going to be here for the weekend.
Well, here's the fun news. I didn't have a cell phone then.
Right.
So I just showed up with this guy. Like Friday night, like, hey, guess what? We got a visitor. Who's this? I don't know, man. It's this guy
right.
trying to get this job. She's like, all right, well, she didn't, to be honest with you, she was
cool.
Yeah, she wasn't too pissed off. But the other one, I had a weird request. This is probably a couple of years ago, but I'm just walking out of the Subway, and I've got a sandwich and a bag of chips and a Coke, and this guy comes and goes, hey, man, can I ask you a favor? And I was like, sure, man, what is it? He's like, will you give me half your sub? And I'm like, and your chips and your drink? And I'm like, well, it's a 6-inch sub, man.
Right.
I was like, it's only a half sub. He's like, well, can I have your chips? And I'm like, no, you can't have my chips. He's like, well, can I have your drink? And I'm like, no, dude, it's my lunch. So I gave him $5. I was like, hey, man, just
can I have half your chips or your sub and your chip?
Yeah, he wanted half
And
the
drink.
sub. I had to explain to him it wasn't a foot long.
Either way.
Right, but still.
I got a foot long, so I wanted the 11 inches they give us.
Reason we asked, what's the hottest request that someone has asked you? In case you didn't know it, Kevin Bacon, the actor, has owned farmland in Connecticut since 1983.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
He wanted to expand his property and buy the neighboring plot. Now, he was originally turned down because that land is haunted. The owner told Kevin Bacon, quote, I cannot sell it to you because it's haunted, and I'm afraid that you'll get possessed and, do some serious damage.
I do appreciate people looking out for you, but you dial that one down a little bit.
He eventually was able to talk the owner into selling, but under the condition. He destroyed the old haunted house on the property within 1 month. Kevin was told the house dated back to the 1700s and involved the murder of a Native American by a colonial soldier. The former owner even had Ghostbusters come in for a visit. Of course, Kevin did what anyone would do, and he destroyed the house. And his wife, Kira Sedgwick, she didn't want to take any chances, so she did not let him keep anything from the house. And no, he has not seen any ghosts, but he hopes someday maybe it happens.
Would you still buy that property? For
Look,
some reason, now you just make it weird.
It's a weird request, but
Because
ultimately it's just a teardown.
It is, but it's one thing to say, we think the house might be haunted. I don't care. But you make it weird when you add I'm worried you'll get possessed. Like, what kind of haunting are we talking about, man?
I mean, look, if you buy an old farmland and there's a farmhouse, it's haunted. Just know that.
Or just assume that it is.
Random.
There's a certain places you look at, like, I'm not stepping foot in that place. And until I get my house banded, my house looks like that right now.
I cannot see myself being a farm owner.
There's a difference. I can see myself being a farm owner. I cannot honestly see myself being present on the farm. You know what I mean? I feel like if I owned a restaurant, yes, I own this place. I am not the cook. I am not the manager. I'm letting other people do that.
I've got 4 tomato plants. Yeah, I'm a farmer.
Farming's too much, man.
It's a lot of work.
I'm sure there's a lot of gratitude you have in doing it. It's a job well done. But once you say you need to get up at a certain time, like if I'm not catching a flight, that's just, it's not something I can do. And it's 7 days a week.
And it's all about,
not even like Monday
to me,
through Friday.
a lot of it's just about feeding yourself or making a profit off of that.
I'd have to be retired, know I'm a good financial standing, and like, look, we'll try to sustain ourselves, but if we don't, we're ordering DoorDash.
I think it's too hard. I think the work's too hard for retirement.
It's way too much. And even if I had animals, like they just
I'm out there like repairing a rototiller and doing all this stuff.
Are you repairing it?
No.
See, that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not handy, so when things break down, which inevitably they'll do, it's like we still need to call someone. There's no chance I'm doing this. Hello, Brock. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Brock, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. Where or when did you not feel like you were in a safe location?
That was just last week, actually.
Okay. Where were you?
My son moved down to South Tacoma, and I went into the 7-Eleven on it was pretty sketchy.
I don't feel like 7-Eleven should be the litmus test of anywhere, only because whatever's the weirdest people you have in any given neighborhood, 7-Eleven is where they're going to go, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, you can put it this way. I don't know if they have 7-Elevens in the Hamptons in New York. Right, and you're talking to some of the richest people in this country, richest people in the world. I feel like if you went there, and they could be between two of the most expensive stores. Somehow when you go there, there's still 4 guys out front. One of them's taking a dump. One of them's asleep. And everyone in there is talking very loud to no one.
Yeah.
Plus, it's 24 hours.
Right.
And, like, I don't know how to explain it. Whenever you have a convenience store, like, there's just people that linger outside.
Right. They don't even necessarily go in.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of the both kind of in my neighborhood that I would go to. There's always just a random dude out there.
There was a 7-Eleven. This was in Baltimore. But before you assume it's the worst, and trust me, Baltimore had some of the worst. This particular location, not so bad. It was kind of off of a bigger highway kind of thing. And I worked the late shift at Chi-Chi's back in my Chi-Chi's days. But I'm walking home. I was stopping at 7-Eleven to get a pack of smokes. There's a car in the parking lot. There are 3 guys in the car. The headlights are on, but they're in there doing whatever they're doing. And to be honest with you, I kind of glanced in the car as I'm walking into 7-Eleven. It didn't seem like they were up to anything. Maybe they were rolling a joint, rolling a cigarette. They looked like maybe they were on their way to a party or something, but certainly not up to no good. But I walk into the 7-Eleven, big brother behind the counter, and while he's kind of ringing me up, he keeps looking over his shoulder, looking out the window of this car. And he's like, I'm sorry, brother, hang on, man, hang on. This dude pulls a gun from under the counter, goes outside, basically kicks open the door, starts screaming at these guys. Right? And again, I'm thinking like, bro, I'm pretty sure they just wanted to get their act together a little bit before they go. Anyway, he wasn't playing it. It made him nervous. So he's like, and you hear this guy screaming at this dude, just waving the gun. And I mean, this car turns on, man. There's screech marks as they reverse out of the sun and they take off. When he walks back in, he returns to this dead calm dude to say, I'm sorry, brother, but you know how inbounds are around here, man. Just maybe, I'm like, well, one, they were white. Before you start going down this, they were white dudes. There's a college down the road. Honestly, man, I think they were like frat bros about to go wherever they're going. He's like, I don't play, man. I don't take chances. Like, okay, what can I get you? 1 pack of Marlboro Reds. That is it.
Raise, we asked, where or when did you not feel safe? There is a lot of talk about how dangerous, obviously, football is on the field, but that's what happens on the field. Now there's a new report about the most dangerous NFL stadiums based on actual crime statistics in the area as well as fan surveys.
Okay.
Does that count after you leave the stadium?
It does, yes.
Okay.
It should.
Yes, that's where a lot of the crime happens as far as car break-ins and other things. Overall, the Denver Broncos Stadium, Empower Field at Mile High, was named the most dangerous.
Dangerous?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. They say there are 70 crimes per 1,000 residents in the zip code where the stadium is located.
Okay.
And the stadium, isn't that downtown?
The baseball stadium is, and the arena, I'm not sure about the football stadium.
Because it seems like when you're downtown Denver, you see everything that's down there, as far as the size of it goes.
There's not
so
a
I know
ton
for a
going
fact
on.
that I probably haven't seen that. Guess what? The Seattle Seahawks Stadium is the second most dangerous.
Really?
Yes. followed by the Detroit Lions.
Well, it's in Detroit.
The Minnesota Vikings, and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait a minute. Now, okay, so obviously we live in Seattle. I've been to that stadium a million times. The fans can be what they are, but I've never felt particularly in danger. Kansas City, and Mike, you've been to Arrowhead. The one thing about Arrowhead, and just, I don't know what's going on in Kansas City, but like, dude, seriously, that you're not close to anything. There is the stadium, there is the parking lot, and there's not another goddamn thing. So unless like fans leave and then immediately jump. And by the way, when I went to this game, they were some of the nicest fans I've ever been around.
They really were. Like, stats come out that Kansas City does actually have a rather high crime rate, or it is actually a decently dangerous place. But you're right. It's in the middle.
Stadium isn't close to anything.
No, it's an island. It's in the middle of a field.
I mean, and that's not a joke.
The way you described it to me sounds like Penn State Stadium. Like you're just on a road, 2 lanes, and all of a sudden you go over a hill and there's a huge stadium.
And there it is. And the thing, like, we couldn't
There's
find
nothing
it.
around Penn State.
No,
We had rented a car. We put an Arrowhead, and it's giving us these directions. And we're like, dude, this can't be right. Because almost anywhere you go, one, it took us on these back roads, so there wasn't a lot of traffic. Typically, you can see a stadium at the distance, but the way they built Arrowhead, you realize they actually dug it underground. So the only part that's at street level, essentially, are your top concessions.
Right, so like Beaver Stadium at Penn State is built up.
Right.
But Michigan is super strange. This is the biggest stadium in the country, but same thing.
They built
it's
it
a
in.
bowl. So like when you're across the street on like on the golf course tailgating, like Thrill's right, you only see like one level, and it's just kind of the top.
And then 100,000 seats.
And then when you get in there,
like,
it almost
oh my
takes your
God.
breath away. You're like, holy crap, this is deep.
Right. Yeah, I'm just blown away by Arrowhead because there's nothing there.
Now, if you're looking for just violent crime, Detroit Lions Stadium is number 1, followed by the Cleveland Browns Stadium, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City again, and New Orleans Saints. That's for violent crime.
That's weird because Baltimore, look, I'm from Baltimore, notoriously violent. I'll never downplay that. But on game days, anyway, it's pretty chill for the most part.
Yeah, my cousin got jumped one night coming home from an O's game.
Perhaps it is not.
The stadium with the most crimes that have been witnessed by fans.
Oh, boy. Is this like in the stands or?
All over. Okay. Witnessed by fans. What stadium would you think has the most violent crime?
Levi Stadium.
Lincoln Financial Field, where the Philadelphia Eagles play. Dallas Cowboy Stadium, believe it or not, is second.
Again, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Followed by the New England Patriots, the Giants and Jets Stadium. They both play at the same one. And then the Cleveland Browns. The stadiums where most fans have been a victim of a crime is the one where the Cowboys play. Giants and Jets is next, followed by the Commanders, then the Seahawks. That's a survey of more than 3,000 NFL fans. Nearly 40% said that they'd witnessed a crime in or around an NFL stadium. 7% said that they had been victims of one themselves. Unfortunately, the report does not offer a full ranking, so it's unclear which stadium is actually the safest.
It's kind of weird. I mean, like, look, you can leave a Seahawks game, and I'll see plenty of illegal activity. Therefore, it is a crime, but it's not even a crime you remember 2 minutes later. You know what I mean? Public urination, some guy vomiting, maybe people railroading each other behind some bushes. It's like crime that happens that you don't care about. But, I mean, again, I just find it crazy that Cowboy Stadium, you're truly in the middle of nowhere. Kansas City, you're truly in the middle of nowhere. Levi Stadium in San Francisco, even though it's not located in San Francisco, it's still in a town. Santa Rosa, I believe it is, or whatever. But, like, the fans there suck. You know, they take pride, like Philly fans, where it's like, we want to stab you, so we might do it after the game.
Seattle might be hurt, too, just property crime, like your car getting broken into while you're in the stadium.
And if you live here, you know where it is. Yeah. It makes sense. But I haven't seen a lot of violent crime. There are a lot of people chirping, but I rarely... If I see a fight at a Hawks game, it's usually in the stadium, not outside of it.
They're also looking at crime in that area. So when you think about Soto, when you think about Pioneer Square, when you think about the areas, I mean, it's unique to have a stadium downtown like that in the middle of everything. But you're in the middle of a city. So anytime you put a stadium in the middle of a city,
that's Baltimore's problem.
You're going to have more crime around that area.
That's why the KC Stadium blows my mind. You are not in the middle of... If you were getting trampled and stampeded by cattle, I'd be like, yes!
Also, you'd think you'd be too tired after eating barbecue.
My God, that's all they eat, man.
Barbecue is not what you give a boxer before they go into the ring.
not if you want them to win.
I mean,
it seems slow today.
Maybe it was the pulled pork. If you're in the Olympics, you don't eat barbecue. And then go do your things. Like, now.
I don't care what the sport is. I don't know that barbecue has ever been a pregame meal.
I can't think of the sport, dude.
Right?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, after you eat barbecue,
wrestling.
And then you stand up for the entire game because those fans stand up for the entire game.
They do literally
By the time I get home, I'm tired, man. I might want like 2 more ribs. That's it. More of the random question coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
You know, it's funny, as I was making the appointment to come today.
I'm sorry, I made the appointment.
I
booked the appointment.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1 exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
That is our random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Aaron. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello. Hola, Bicola.
Hola. Aaron, welcome to the program. And a random question. All right, let's go this one. Let's get geeky for a minute. What are you keeping because you think it might be worth money one day? Something like, you know what, this might be valuable. I'm going to hold on to this thing.
Oh, I'm glad I called. I've talked to you guys several times in the past, and I've got something I think is worth gold.
What would that be?
I've got my original, and I'm telling you, I was born in 1975, and I have my original Dukes of Hazzard metal lunchbox with the thermos, my home phone number written on the inside of it, and a report card from 3rd grade inside the box.
Well, I would say this. Now, the metal lunchbox itself, for people that collect those things, because there are collectors of such things, probably give you good money for that. They probably tape over your phone number and give you back your report card. But quick side note, what were your grades like in 3rd grade?
Well, they wanted me to go back a grade, but I refused.
All right. So not great.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the metal lunchbox, I had my metal lunch that saved my freaking life. It was a metal, because that's all you could get back then anyway, Space 1999 lunchbox. That's right. I was a nerd before being a nerd was cool. Long before being a nerd was cool. But point is, I had a lunchbox, had my lunch in there every day. I always got a Skippy pudding. My mother would tell me every single day, because there was a aluminum lid that you'd peel off.
All right.
Don't lick the lid. You might cut your tongue. I was told her I won't. I did every time. Never cut my tongue. Delicious. But anyway. You
got to lick the top of the lid.
Of course, you're going to lick the top of the lid. You can tell the kid all you want, and I understand as a parent you say this just so you can say you said it, knowing damn well your kid's not going to listen to you because they're not there to witness it. But there's a kid named Rourke Pacino. That was his name. And I'm pretty sure his father was a mobster. And I mean that. Dude, seriously. If you went to Rourke's house on a Saturday morning, because, kids get up early, go to your buddy's house, it'd be like 8:30. He answered the door in a suit. I mean, this guy was always in a suit, slick back hair, whatever. Anyway, as kids want to do, Rourke told me at recess on this particular day he was going to beat my ass after school, which sucked because he was a big dude, man, right? So it's like, all right, here we go. So me and my buddy Scott Forsyth, at the end of school that day, we go to the bike rack because we'd ridden our bikes to school. And I thought my buddy Scott was going to hang out. When Rourke showed up, true to his word, my buddy Scott's like, I got to go home. So Rourke worked me over pretty good, to his credit. I still got my lunchbox in my hand. So, in desperation, I swing the lunchbox. And again, it's a metal lunchbox, so it had a thermos in it. And this thing hit him square on the side of the head, okay? So he just dropped. The fight is over, and before he could regain his composure, I unlocked my bike, hopped on top, and rode the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So then all night, I'm sweating the fact that, okay, man, I'm going to go into school tomorrow. And, Rourke can whip my ass, right? He now knows if I don't have the lunchbox, that's the time to take me. So I'm thinking he's going to kill me. The nice thing about this story was when he threatened me at recess, all the girls that I thought were cute also heard him threaten me. I did not know they liked me until the following day. So the following day, I go into school. Rourke had let it go. He was giving me the stink eye, like he'd stare me down, but we had no more physical or anything. But the problem was, if I laughed, I'd break into tears because he busted up my ribs so bad. But no one could see the bruising, okay? But because I hit him with that lunchbox, he had this big-ass shiner on the right side of his head. So everyone thought that I whipped Rourke's ass. I never said I did, but I never said I didn't.
Right.
And it worked out in my favor for the rest of it. So that is what I remember most about my Space 1999 lunchbox. However, when I got home that day, parents, they notice everything. What happened to your lunchbox? Why is there a dent? And the last thing I'm going to tell my mom is that I got into a fight. I dropped it under. I don't think she believed me, but I'm not going to confess it.
They were already plastic by the time I got to like grade school and stuff.
I bet you Rourke might be the person who invested in plastic lunchboxes.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a bully and not get clobbered when something takes you out?
The main thing was, though, they had those thermoses.
Yeah, and there's not enough drink in there, Ted.
There's not, but every once in a while, my mom would fill it with SpaghettiOs, and that was like a big day.
Wow.
My mom always did, and I get it.
I never got that.
It always seemed important that kids drink milk at lunch. Somehow that's just been beaten into our head. So my mom would always fill it with milk or chocolate milk. The problem was, by the time we got to lunch, it was warm.
No, it's
and
nasty.
It stunk, man.
Nasty,
I'm drinking this.
Trying to think what I have at home that I've saved that's just worthless. Baseball card sets that I've had since I was in my teenage years.
When you started, it made sense, but then people just started buying the whole pallets.
I did. I bought a set of baseball cards every year. Mm-hmm. So depending on the brand, Donruss, Fleer, or Topps, I would buy that year's set. Now I would spend probably between $16 and $20 for each set, which was a lot of money back then. They're the same price. So I've looked at online to see what are these things worth. They are not worth anything compared to like why am I keeping these in a box in my garage?
Now it's almost nostalgic. Plus, even though they're not worth anything, if you still see like Johnny Bench, it takes you back. I don't think I've kept anything because the value is going to go up. And if I did, I don't know what it is because I don't own anything where I believe the value is going to go up. But then I look at my kid, Jesus Christ. So at the kids' school, they have a thing called Jogathon, all right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure entirely what it is. I just know they raise money. So good for them. The kids look forward to it every year, blah, blah, blah. So we're sitting in the car Saturday, coming back from the kids' soccer game, and he says, Dad, I'm collecting, oh boy, like these rubber donuts or plastic donuts. I'm like, what the F are you talking about? He reaches in his bag, and he pulls out like 15 of these fake mini donuts. He's like, these are the frosted ones, man. These are, like, it matters, apparently, right? Like, he and some other kid had beef about it in the school about who got this particular donut because it's so rare. And I'm just looking at him. He's like, so I'm going to go online and look for more. And I said, why? He goes, I collect them now. I said, how long? Now. This is Saturday. Right. I said, when did you even get these? He said, I got them Friday at the Jogathon. And I said, you want to collect these? He goes, yeah. So I'm taking some of my birthday money, blah, blah, blah. And the conversation I always have with him, I say, look, it is your money. You're going to spend it on what you like, but give yourself 2 days to really, really think about this because of Fortnite or whatever the hell you play right now, if they have something that comes up, I think you want that more than the donuts. But right now, he's on the but he believes
plastic donuts.
That these things are going to be worth millions of dollars. I hope he's right.
Reason we asked, what are you keeping because you think it'll be worth money one day? A piece of Star Wars history recently discovered in a garage. And this October, it is up for auction. Catch is, unless fans know some Jedi mind tricks, they need very deep pockets to get close to it. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the starting bid for a 20-inch X-Wing starfighter belonging to late model maker Greg Jean must ante up $400,000.
What?
The price is due to the X-Wing's role in the franchise's first movie in 1977. Heritage Auctions website states there were only 4 hero models used in the film. This is one of them, specifically a model of Red Leader, or Red 1.
I know who Red 1 is.
It's got working lights, a customized paint job, and motorized wings that open into attack position. For those that grew up in the 70s and 80s and those of us that work in visual effects, this model is as significant a find as the Ruby Red Slippers or the Maltese Falcon. A visual effects historian named Gene Kotsky and a friend of his was Gene's. So Kotsky was helping Gene's family rummage through the vast collection of rare movie memorabilia when he came upon a cardboard box. I was like, holy cow, we found an X-Wing, a real, honest-to-goodness X-Wing. He told the New York Times. We were carrying on like kids at Christmas. Red 1 was distinctible by the single red stripe on its wing.
That's correct.
It was seen in close-up shots as well as the film's ending battle scene. Now, although there were only 4 hero models, Red one has a little more intrigue behind it because it's been missing for decades. When the company that Gene worked for, Industrial Light Magic, moved offices in 1978, rumors sparked that some models were unaccounted for. We can never confirm anything. It became something of a mythical white whale, the missing Star Wars X-Wing. Gene did not keep a record of how he came to obtain the rare model or the hundreds of valuable props also up for auction at the collection, which filled several garages and storage facilities in Los Angeles. The Times noted it'll include gems like William Shatner's lace hairpiece from the original Star Trek, Batman's yellow utility belt from the 1960s TV series. But the X-Wing, that's likely the crown jewel, a similar model, went for $2.4 million in 2022.
So how do they figure this one will go for less?
It'll go for more. They're just starting the bid.
Oh, they're starting at $400,000. Okay,
$1,000, and then from there, somebody like with collector's money, like where you walk into someone's house in Seattle, they have a T-Rex. They're probably going to have this thing.
That'll be there,
hanging from the ceiling.
By the way, Miles, you're talking about trading cards earlier. Someone here says the price of trading cards have gone up so much over the years. There's an app where you take a photo of it; it'll tell you how much they're worth.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned.
You might as well give it a shot.
Yeah.
Right? Why the hell not?
Well,
you might have like one or two, though, that just a lot of people don't have. Like, I'm telling you,
maybe
99% of them worthless. But
maybe. I don't know.
Are they worth more if there's still the gum inside of the unopened package?
They are.
They're sets.
They're sets. So, yes, they do sell them like that. Ted's right. You can buy a whole box of unopened cards from a certain year and brand. And basically, you're rolling the dice on how many rookies came out this year that have a valuable card. So within a 5-year window, there might be one set of cards in those 5 years where there's a rookie card that's potential in there that would be worth the cost of taking the gamble to buy the whole box.
Why were baseball cards the only sporting cards that took off, right? Because they tried NBA, I remember that. They tried NFL, they tried NHL. Those are the big four.
I still have a lot of those cards.
But nobody cared, right? It was just baseball cards.
It's the card. The Michael Jordan rookie. Yes, it's valuable.
Sure.
The Wayne Gretzky.
Sure.
Yes, it's valuable.
But I mean, even as
Mario
kids.
Lemieux.
We
went through a phase
when
with
we
football.
collected. Really?
Yeah, there was definitely a time where we really liked football cards. But you're right. Like, there's something about baseball cards.
They stand the test of time.
And it's in the name.
Yeah.
Also, I got a football baseball card. Right?
Technically, they're trading cards, but like everybody knows that as a baseball.
It's a baseball card.
Also, baseball, their sets were 720 some cards typically, where an NFL set was 12 players from each team, both offense and defense within those 12.
Okay.
So no offensive tackles for the most part. No guards.
They got no love.
No centers. No, it was all special.
Man.
They always did the kicker and punter for whatever reason, which I thought was the dumbest thing. Because those two were always included.
You knew their names.
The kicker, though, right, you're going to know the kicker's name. Punters,
yeah, right.
Well, here's the thing. You only don't care about your punter if you have a good punter. Right, they walk on the field, they can pin them back or do their thing, so you don't care. If you have an SC punter, you instantly know the guy's name.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a crappy kicker, you instantly know that guy's name.
I was going to say, also, if you have bad teams, and I'm speaking as a Maryland football fan, like, there was a lot of years where it's like, the Maryland punter, he's the best of the conference. Like, yeah, because he's out there all the time.
He's getting more work.
Right, they never get a first down.
Random.
Of course he's good. Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and no whores.
Liquor and no whores.
Justin, welcome to the program. Ran a question. All right, since we're talking money, what do we think is valuable that we own? How about this one? Other than your rent or mortgage, what would you say is your biggest expense?
Well, my truck, I guess, that I overpaid for.
What do you mean you overpaid for? How so?
Well, I didn't overpay for it, but it was a little out of my budget. That's when I bought it 6 years ago, but it's almost paid off now.
Was it worth it?
Yeah, it's a good truck.
Okay. How much was it brand new then?
Oh, I bought it used, had like 86,000. I think I got it like 52 out the door.
It's amazing how expensive trucks are.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've gotten better, and it's the most popular vehicle.
That thing's got to be loaded with everything, right?
Yeah, it had pretty good options in it.
So what is your monthly payment?
$750.
$750.
Wow.
What are you spending? What do you spend in gas?
Well, I don't drive that ever, actually. I drive a little commuter car. So.
Okay. Really, man? No one just sits in the driveway.
But it looks cool.
Yeah, if I need to tow something, I'm ready.
By the way, how old are you?
33.
All right. I don't know what it is. I have a lot of friends I never heard him talk about trucks. And then somehow in our 30s, like everybody went out and bought a truck.
Did they really?
I think it's just more fun to drive, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain cars that are fun to drive, but where are you going to go to really, really open it up? And I got a neighbor who has, so when he first moved into the house, like 4 or 5 years ago, he bought the house, he moves in, and we knew when he was coming home, because for about 3 weeks, you always, in this old-ass kind of gold Toyota Tercel. But he bought a pretty nice crib, so we're like, all right. About 3 weeks later, we look outside, he's got a brand new vet. So we're like, okay, he's a doctor. But I'm like, my man clearly got a promotion or finished paying off his loans or whatever it is. But he stumbled into money. So he would drive his Corvette every single day. And he's a very laid-back dude. But he tells me, look, Seattle is notoriously a slow-driving city, but there's somewhere south of here, I don't remember, where they open up the track. And he and like-minded cats that own power cars, they go down there. And you can race around, all right?
Very
so
cool.
I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. Well, about 3 months ago, my dog's freaking out because she hears a different car, and it's this electric minivan, okay? So, now keep in mind, his mom lives in town, and he has a couple of friends over. I figured it was his friends. And his garage door goes up. The minivan pulls in next to the Corvette. I see him get out. So I'm just like, no, man. What are you doing? He's like, oh, yeah, I got the minivan. He says, look, I go, see, you live alone. I mean, like, it's a minivan, not a van, not a truck. It is a minivan. I'm like, dude, you live alone. You don't have kids. Why'd you get a minivan? He's like, it's more economical than a van. So,
well, hell yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, man.
And minivans are cheap.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. But every Sunday, he takes that vet out.
Raise me ass other than your rent or mortgage. What is your biggest expense? The cost of raising a kid up until college in the U.S. has reached nearly $250,000. That amount includes just the basics. CBS News broke all this down. They broke down research from Living Tree that found parenting costs from birth until age 18 averaged $237,000. And these expenses just covered the bare bones necessities like food, housing, childcare, clothing, transportation, and health insurance, but excluded enrichment activities like sports, arts, or after-school programming. That was not included. Childcare, the most substantial component, averaged nearly $12,000 a year, an amount that led some parents to leave the workforce or even decide not to have children at all.
Well, sure.
So it's completely understandable that people are scared to death of how they're going to pay to raise a kid. It's daunting when you consider that we don't even factor in the cost of college. That's not included in that, for example, in these numbers.
Right, this is just the 18.
Right. To prepare financially, people who wish to start a family should save early, consider high-yield savings account, explore government and nonprofit assistance program.
But you're not going to.
And allocate funds for future educational expenses like a 529 plan.
Yes.
Depending on where a student attends college, tuition could double the cost of raising a child. And the tuition is probably going to go up in the 18 years that it takes to save it.
That is, I don't know that the college tuition has gone down in the last 40 years.
Hawaii, that's the most expensive state to raise a child, mainly due to parents paying an extra $4,000 annually in rent compared to those without children, and an additional $4,000 per year on health insurance premiums in Hawaii. District of Columbia, Ted, and Washington State follow closely behind, with D.C. residents paying an average of $25,000 annually for infant daycare. In these top three expensive locales, the cost of raising a child surpasses $28,000 a year. Meanwhile, in Mississippi, Alabama, and Arkansas, the states with the lowest costs, expenses were less than half of that in more costly states, but parents still paid an extra $1,000 in rent yearly than homes without children.
That's part of the reason my wife stopped working, right? 'Cause we talked about it, and I said, look, man, we're both going to work, and then we got to pay for daycare or whatever. And when we broke down the math, I said, essentially, all your job is paying for is for you to go to work. Mm-hmm. And at some point, we go, that is stupid. So literally, you're getting up, you're stressing out in the morning, we got to get all this stuff taken care of, and your paycheck covers the cost of you stressing out every morning to go there and do that.
If there's a reason for that, if there's better health insurance, or there's other things that come into factor, it's worth weighing it. But if not, it's not.
But yeah, we have it covered here. I said, look, man, I'll take the hit. I can live with that. But the difference is we're not spending all of this freaking money when, you know what I mean? It just, but we did it for 2 years before we're like, this does not make any sense. Basically, if you stop going to work and we don't have to pay for all the child care and this and that, and all these things to go with it, we're still just living off of my paycheck. So Why stress yourself out, man?
Yeah. More of the random question coming up. 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Your guess is as good as mine. Count of our categories: diversity and the most vegetarian and vegan-friendly cities.
Yay.
Your guess is as good as mine. Coming up right after emails on a random question. 206-803-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Parker. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hola. Parker, welcome to the program. All right, let's go with this one. Have you ever wanted to or thought it would be cool to open a bar, Parker?
A bar?
A bar.
Yeah. I think that would be really cool. You can have a cool place for all your friends and family, and
family
decorate it however you want.
What would your decor be? I walk into Parker's Bar Parker. What am I walking into? Multiple TV screens? Is it a dive bar? What?
Well, you're going to see some really good players playing Rocket League and Modern Warfare 2 free-for-all, and then also some punching bags and some pool tables.
Okay. I dig the concept. I will tell you this, though. If you set up Rocket League, my son, in spite of being 11 years old, will walk in with a fake ID.
That's right. It's a super fast-paced game that's
I suck
very
at
different from others.
It's fun, but I suck at it. Okay. I'll put it this way. My son was playing Rocket League, and he's playing with someone else, right? So they're doing this team thing. He's got his little headset on. He says to me, Dad, I know you like this game, which I do. Do you want to join us? I'm like, sure. So he develops a third card for me. He's still talking to his partner. And can I hear what his partner's saying? I can hear my son responding. So we start playing 3-on-3 against another group of people. And all I hear my son say is, oh, don't worry about it, man. That's just my dad. Because obviously the other guy's going, this player sucks. And that's my son's way of letting this guy know, hey, don't be too essy about it.
What would be, Parker, the one beer that you would demand to have on tap at all times? Like, what's your favorite beer?
Oh, I think we all know which one we're not picking, but I would go with Coors Light.
Coors Light always on tap. It's never a bad choice, man.
Have more than one urinal in your bathroom, then. That's my thought.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And what kind of food would you want to serve?
Well, you can't go wrong with the pizza and wings and a nice burger. I'm not really into the whole smash burger trend. I think that's kind of weird, but yeah, some burgers and some hot wings that go up to maybe some ghost pepper as a nice challenge.
Okay.
Wow. Some video games,
that's a little
pool
spicy.
Tables. But like you said, for a challenge, so that's fair. I dig that, man. I've thought about it. Look, I don't have the money to do it, but my thought, and I always run this by my wife, I say, look, the perfect thing for me being in retirement, we buy a bar. And she goes, well, what shifts would you work? I said, no. I said, we own it. My point is, when I walk in, I have a guaranteed seat up at the bar, and I just get, but it's way, our local watering hole is dead, and I call it. When I walk, they already know what I'm going to order, because I order the same thing every time. But if it's packed, I can't get a seat. So my thought is, for my money, Ted, I would buy our local watering hole.
All right.
And everyone that works there would keep their job. I don't want any part of this other than when I walk in, just give me my drink. I'll saunter up. Bit of a dive bar, but they got some cool action going on. I want to say they have 3 TVs, one big one for anything Seattle related, the other one sports, right?
Okay. There's a few TVs in there.
Yeah. They got a pool table, right? Just the one.
I got a couple of buddies that own bars. They tend to enjoy it. They work their ass off.
That's the issue, is that bars, I think there's a bulk of people who are like, man, I like going out. I would love to own a bar. But number one, it's a lot of work. Number two, frankly, it's a tough business. A lot of them go under pretty quickly. So, I've thought about it, but I don't know that I'd actually like to do it.
But I wonder how much I want to own it, not work there. And again,
how much does it cost?
People.
We know how much it costs to buy a house in Seattle. I can't imagine with a liquor license attached to it.
Right, that's what you're paying for at that point.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you got to be talking a couple million, right? Easily.
I don't know. It depends on the bar, where you're at, and what their bills look like.
Right, what do their bills look like? That's why I like our local watering hole, because it's just kind of the neighborhood bar. It'll be one thing to open one in Belltown or Pioneer Square. Your competition it's constant, right?
Yeah.
You're part of a great group, but it's constant competition. I like where I go because it's all right, there's the bar, there's a takeout place, across the street, I can get bagels, right? That's it. If you want to drink and you're in that area, that's the spot you go. And they get 2 different kinds of crowds.
Reason we asked if you ever wanted to open a bar or thought about that. There's a new bar, sports bar, that just opened up in New York City. It is called T-Squared Social, and it's in the grand lobby of the Immigrant Savings Bank in Manhattan.
Okay.
It has a 32-foot marble bar, lounge areas, and reservation-only box seats. It also has golf simulators, duck pin bowling, and darts. All of these sound pretty good to me. Ski balls and other good
So it's like an adult arcade with a big bar in it.
Over 35 TVs, including one with a 200-inch screen, supposedly the biggest in New York. It is owned by Justin Timberlake and Tiger Woods. They got together and said, we want to open up a sports bar. Tiger says, quote, Justin and I thought it'd be cool to create a place that combines our favorite things and games and brings people together.
Sex.
Just to have a great time. Justin adds, quote, we knew a concept like T-Squared Social would thrive in New York. Beautiful space and transcends the typical sports bar experience.
That explains how they have the money. Because what you said, New York City, right, where it's exorbitant prices, they can do that. I don't know. I just want a dive bar. I really do.
Right? I love that night we took and went to the Top Golf, the inside one in Kirkland.
Sure.
Now, this is not the big one like they're building in Renton.
It's a Top Golf lounge.
Yeah. So they have the bays where you can go in there, and it's not golf. If you want to go in there and swing a golf club, you can pick like 200, 300 different golf courses to choose from and actually play a few holes or play the whole round. But most of the games, they have kid games in there, all kinds of different things. Like you can do like shooting a hockey net. I mean, you can kick a soccer ball into a net. There's all kinds of different things you can do. And I think those bays are awesome.
I think it's cool. Just for me, that's a different experience. Like when I think of a bar, like when I think about that Top Golf joint, it's awesome, but like I will drink, but that's not my primary purpose for going.
No, because it gets real competitive real fast.
Real fast. Like you'll have beer on the side, but you're kind of focusing basically on just beating your friends or whatever it is you're doing. But for me, I just want a dive bar. It's like, look, we got a pool table, we have a dartboard, we have booze, and we have conversations.
You can quarterback a football team and try to drive the ball down the field.
Right.
If you connect on your passes. There's all kinds of cool stuff.
What about the food? I thought that was an interesting question. You were asking that guy what kind of food he'd serve.
I'd
have to have good wings.
Wings, pizza, burgers, maybe mozzarella sticks or something.
I think pizza takes it to a different level.
You think?
Yeah, because now you got a bar with a pizza oven in it. And that thing is like 9 million degrees. So like when you go into it's one thing to have a pizza place. I think it's another thing to have you're either just serving pizza at that bar and maybe one or two other things, or you're a full-on pizza bar.
I would only do slices, though. Like, I'm not getting... Okay. If you want to do takeout, I will make the whole pie for you, right? But the idea is I want you to sit in place, and talk to the people next to you. To me, that's the point of a bar, is the conversation.
How with Miles, though? And I think it's cool some places have both, but I wouldn't have pizza. I'd have burgers, sandwiches, wings.
Appetizer heavy.
What kind of sandwich? How many different sandwiches?
Probably... like 6 to 8.
All right. Are you talking like Reuben French dip style?
Yeah, classic, right? There's got to be a Reuben. You got to have a French dip.
All right.
Probably some type of Caesar or buffalo chicken wrap.
Yes, you got to have
cheesesteak, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
See, that's
you got to have a burger, right? You got to have a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, I feel like once you do the cheese, to me, the cheesesteak, to me, is what you were saying pizza. Because now you have this massive, I mean, look, do your thing, but it's a massive flat top, and there's some guy just sweating over that bad boy, bitching about it.
Onion rings for sure.
Onion rings and fries.
Cheesesteaks for sure.
And I'm going waffle cut fries or standard fries. None of that.
Or seasoned? Or hand cut.
It's your choice, Ted. We're full service. Did you want them seasoned?
If I'm getting a waffle fry, I like it seasoned.
I agree.
How about a curly fry? Seasoned or no?
I would do curly fries.
It's pretty rare to see a curly fry unseasoned, which is thankfully.
But I think you offer both. Because someone's going to have that unseasoned curly fry, and we go back to the Lay's potato chip thing, like, this is a fine French fry. I believe that. But yeah, waffle fries, curly fries.
Miller Lite on tap, Ted?
I'd have Miller Lite on tap. Have a lot of cans and bottles, but yeah.
I think that's huge.
Right. You know what, honestly, at the end of the day, as long as there's a light domestic macro brew, I'm good.
I would offer two of those. I would offer two. You can do the Miller Lite, do the Coors Light, because people like you, Ted, come in, and it's like, I know you want Miller Lite. People that like Coors Light want Coors Light, and then both of you would drift to the other person's camp if I don't have one. But I'd like to say, dude, I got them both.
I would do a handle of nothing but local swill. Local from other places. So I had a beer the other day that I've never had for a while. Yeah, exactly. Until that keg's blown, you're drinking Iron City. And then after that,
I won't tell you how many.
I had one the other day called Heidelberg, which I've never had before, but that was a local kind of cheaper beer. It was fantastic. Just to be able to try maybe one day, or one keg is Genesee,
No, people don't deserve that.
No,
they
man,
do.
it's look.
You want people to come back to your bar.
Yes, you do.
Because I would call, hey, are you guys, if you're blowing that keg in Genesee, it's been 2.5 years.
Leinenkugel, you would wherever you're from, you're gonna have a chance. A Beta or a Dixie beer.
All right, Beta's not bad. Beta's not bad.
Whatever the hell the local beer is, National Bohemian.
But outside of upstate New York, the only people I see drinking Genesee live on the street.
Somebody here says you got to have a fried bologna sandwich.
All right, that's not bad. Like a
You
thick
can do
cut
Taylor
one.
ham. You can do Taylor ham though.
You could, but that's a little different. But like fried bologna is kind of a good delicacy. You can find that at like a diner.
And somebody here says it's cute with your ideas, but not realistic. But we're basically naming almost every bar that exists. What is unrealistic about? You have macro brews, you have micro brews, you have wings. Like 95% of the bars I walk in. It's not realistic because I don't have the money, but assuming I did, I do not believe these are high concepts here. We're not even being creative.
No.
We're just saying, like, this is the food I'd want to eat. Fairly low as far as food expense goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The beers, we're not saying anything insane except Miles, but his is not insanely expensive. It's just insane that you'd think somebody wants Genesee. I feel like even if you called the distributor, they'd be like, yeah, you can get it. Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
It would just be the cheap local beer from areas around. What is it in Chicago? It's
Old Style.
Old Style. So
the issue is though, like when I'm in those towns, I'll drink their
sure, give it a
as
try.
I say, like their local swill. But I don't know that I'm walking into a bar in Seattle and want to put down that local swill from other cities.
I think it depends what time you open. All right, so if I open at 9 or 10 a.m., your regulars that are your daytime drinkers, put Genesee on tap. Honestly,
Okay.
right?
All right.
They're going to have a problem drinking, but I think once you hit about 4:30 in the afternoon, like you might as well just trade out the keg.
Here's the next question, Ted. So there are a lot of home away from homes for colleges and NFL teams where
Correct.
they have their parties and they have their get-togethers and everything else. What college base would you want to be the home base for your bar? Based on the people that
If it can't be Maryland.
I mean, like there's UW bars. There's obviously,
Of course.
there's Wazoo bars in the area. We know the Pullman people can drink. We know that UW people can drink. But if it was from some other school, what would be the group?
I mean, I would just pick an SEC school, like Alabama,
Georgia.
Tennessee, right? Georgia, or just because they have
Georgia,
they
you
have
would do
massive
well.
fan bases, and those people show up and party.
Okay.
I used to thoroughly enjoy when I lived in Belltown. Buckley's was my spot.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go over there on Saturdays at certain hours because all the Michigan fans were there. And to their credit, they took over the bar. Now, I have heard over the years, Michigan fans aren't the, depending on the time of the game, aren't the booziest pack in the group. Whereas,
that
like,
figures into it.
Right. So, but it's West Coast. We're in Seattle. But, like, I feel like SEC football fans, it doesn't matter what time that game kicks off. Like, that's the plan for the day. They're going to spend money.
What would be the NFL team?
As far as drinking,
See, here would be this because
I hate it.
It can't be the Seahawks.
I would take the Steelers bar.
Yeah, they'll pack it.
They drink and they're everywhere. And the thing is, I'd even let them know I'm a Ravens fan. I think at some point we get along. Like, look, I'll put your game on. I'm going to root against them. You guys have
Then
fun.
you got to have Iron City on
I
tap.
don't care. I would,
or in bottles when they're there.
I would do
if
it
it's
for
a
them.
Pittsburgh Steelers bar,
Or like
then I would
buckets
have
of
it.
Rolling Rock or whatever.
But I mean, look, I like going to Atlantic Crossing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the AC. If you're a part of the Cascade Gooner or Gooners, whatever, the Arsenal group, like that's where they always watch the games.
Are they Gunners or Gooners?
Well, they're Gunners. Some people call them
Gooners. Okay.
But I'm almost positive the guy that owns that bar, who is English, is not an Arsenal fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, go where the money is, man.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. Just like
I got a Steelers bar. I thought you were a Ravens
I think the
fan.
Steelers.
I am.
Steelers. That's a really good call.
Look, they're just. It does not matter where you go in this country. If the Steelers are on, it is amazing how many Steelers.
I would not
fans
take Kansas
are around.
City.
Why not?
Because I truly believe that if you're a Kansas City fan, you want to eat really good barbecue.
Yeah, I'm not going
And
for
your
that
restaurant is not going to live up to that standard of that quality of barbecue. There's no way. And those guys probably get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning if their game's on at 10 or whenever and start barbecuing at home. Start smoking everything up and getting it all ready to go early. Like a real tailgate.
Maybe that's what you do. You
I don't
hire
know.
the
Kansas
KC
City's got a
fans.
lot of fans, man. That'd be a good group to have.
Especially now.
And look, if Kansas City won fans, Mike and I know this. We know where they are. They're over at Stan's at Issaquah, eating barbecue.
Yep,
Well,
eating barbecue.
BYOB, bring your own barbecue.
I would tell them, like, look, what I've done, I've hired like 6 guys that are KC fans, right? In my parking lot every, I don't know, Sunday morning, whatever it is. They're hooking it up. They are the guys making the barbecue. My kitchen has nothing to do with the barbecue. We'll still have the wings and the barbecue. They're doing the barbecue. They can charge you almost like a food truck. Like, look, they can charge what they want, but they're in the parking lot. You know we got good food.
Okay.
But if you want beer, you got to come inside.
Now, it's not Monday Night Football. It's a Tuesday night.
All right.
It's a Wednesday night. I will tell you the activity. You tell me if you will allow it in your bar. Trivia night.
I would, of course, because I like trivia.
Right. Again, trivia, I do not care for it because it's too quiet and stuff.
Yeah.
But bars should all do it on Tuesday or Wednesday. Like, why not? It's a good moneymaker. People come in, they'll play games. I will say I'm a bingo guy now. I like playing bingo.
Would you have a bingo night?
Sure. Why not?
Okay.
Are people having fun when they play bingo?
Yeah, and bingo, you got to pay attention. It's like when that dude's announcing the numbers, like you can still, it's not like trivia where you're going to get shushed or anything.
Right.
Which just, sorry, that's just a pet peeve of mine. I just, yeah. But bingo's pretty fun because you just got to pay attention, but you could still talk at a normal level. But if you miss a number, that's on you.
That's on you.
And yeah, there's one person I know of. Like, your bingos are never correct. Stop yelling bingo.
Why would they scream out bingo if they don't have it?
Because they're drunk and annoying, and they think they have it. But like, you know, I don't. You guys probably haven't played bingo in a while. But like,
You're correct.
The first few games you play bingos. Then you're trying to get like all four corners or just the outside of the bingo thing filled up. So like people, you know, they get a little confused. I've just seen one person do it 3 times, and I'm just like, just stop it.
What do you win if you win in bingo? Just the fact that you know
the place I go, you can get like a T-shirt. You can win a couple free drinks or something.
The free drinks to me, that's all the motivation, man. Like if you win this round, your next round's on the house. I'm in.
But I can't win cash. Is that gambling?
I would never do cash.
No.
I would just do drinks. I
And
really
you
would.
didn't throw in $20 to play.
But you don't have to put in cash to play.
Okay.
So people here go, excuse me, what about Vegas for drinking? I guarantee you Raiders fans F it up. You're telling me Steelers fans drink more than Eagles fans? No. Coming from Baltimore, even though Baltimore's rival is Pittsburgh, I don't want Eagles fans in a massive collection drinking in my bar. When you pride yourself on hurting people or being disgusting or whatever the deal is, like, I'm not inviting that into my bar. It does not mean other people when I get into fights, but when you come with the attitude of, this is how we roll, then roll to the Eagles bar next door, bro. You're not coming in.
There's a couple of sports bars in town. The first thing I look at, what's a Monday night game? What's a Sunday night game?
Sure.
Can I go there based on the fact that they have large fan bases that go there and take over?
So you got to find a Jacksonville bar.
I can't get a seat at the bar. It's hard to move around. So just like, look, if it's that night, so tonight, I'm lucky. So there's 2 NFL games on tonight. My bars should be accessible. They shouldn't be too crazy. But it's amazing. San Fran's It's
not
amazing
playing
the fan
tonight.
base that goes, and watches their teams. More so than others, at least in the bars that I go to.
What team in the NFL do you think would draw the least amount of people?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's got to be Jacksonville.
You just don't meet that many people from Jacksonville.
You don't, but even their fan base, I want to say when they rank the teams, as far as the number of fans they have, I want to say Jacksonville's like 31st or 32nd.
I'd also say Houston for this area.
Yeah.
Just based on proximity,
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like there's a lot of Houston transplants.
A Bills bar might not be bad.
You also just honestly, sometimes you just never know, right? Because the fan groups get together and kind of plan stuff out.
Sure.
So, what was it? Years ago, me and my buddy, we stayed at a friend's house in Olympia. So on the way back, it's an NFL Sunday. My buddy just looks at me, he goes, "You want to stop and get a beer and watch a little football?" I was like, "Sure." So we stopped at, Buffalo Wild Wings, forget which one, but like, we pull in, not too crowded, we get a table, and then the Raiders fans just showed up.
Oh, really?
They're like hanging stuff, and it's like, yep, it's obviously
You
it's a
see
Raiders bar.
you see more Raiders stuff in the Tacoma area as far as window decals.
Yeah.
And people wearing jerseys.
And Raiders fans.
Now, are they?
There's a lot of Niners fans too. It's
For sure.
If you're a Raiders fan, are you just wherever they are, you're still a Raiders fan?
Correct.
So no
I
matter what
believe
city
so.
they are in, you're always just going to follow them. They will be your team no matter where they end up.
And the Raiders, in their defense, they're one of the only NFL teams that has kind of a culture around it too. It's like
They do.
You're not just a football fan. You're not just you're a Raiders fan.
But
That's
the
how
thing
you
is,
identify.
You have to be a Raiders fan if you're a Raiders fan because that team moves all the time.
That's what I was going to say, but you're
You've
also
been in
pulling
Oakland,
from-
you've been in LA, you've been right back to Oakland. Now you're in Vegas. Like, look, if you like the Raiders,
but you're pulling from 3 cities.
Exactly.
Which is a lot more than most people have the fan base of. I don't know how many St. Louis people are cheering for the Rams these days.
Almost none.
None. I was hanging out with a couple of my buddy and his friend from St. Louis on Saturday, and they're like, "Yeah, F the Rams now."
They hate
Conversely, there are San Diego fans that still follow the Chargers.
Sure.
In L.A. I guess it's proximity to be able to all right, I'll drive
That
to watch a
helps.
game, but I don't think the animosity is the same. Probably because you're living in San Diego, so you really don't care.
Yeah, it's Southern California.
God
also,
damn.
The Raiders stuff is tough, too. As soon as you become a fan, you got to get a tattoo.
Somebody here says, where did it go? The Bills Mafia literally had 23,000 something of booze shipped to L.A. when they played the Rams. So I don't know if it was 23,000 bottles, $23,000 worth. But think about it. The fans themselves said, no, we'll cover the cost of this.
Mm-hmm. Your guess is as good as mine. Kind of the categories diversity and the most vegetarian-friendly cities. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
My mother will come over when she says she will. Knowing that she's always going to be there is really nice for me because I don't have to make my own cereal.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Coming up, your guess is as good as mine. The categories, the states with the most diversity and the most vegetarian or vegan-friendly cities. First time, though, for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
2-1 from the random question. Safe location dudes, about 2003, 24 years old. Went to Oakland for a class for work. I found out that while I was there, Metallica, opening for the Rolling Stones at Giant Stadium. I had no experience with public transportation. Took the BART from Oakland to San Francisco. Didn't know what I was doing. Accidentally got off 4 stops too soon. Ended up having to walk through San Francisco alone, totally lost. Ended up finding a couple, going to the concert, and followed them there. Headed back, I managed to take the correct trains from San Francisco to Oakland, but got to Raider Stadium Station around 2 a.m. Called my hotel for a shuttle to pick me up. When he arrived, I ran to the shuttle, scared out of my mind from the encounters with the homeless people hanging out at the station at that time of the night. I got on the shuttle. The driver asked if I was alone. I said, yes. He said, girl, do you know where your parents are? This is where nice white girls like you disappear.
Jesus.
Duly noted, shuttle driver. Duly noted. That from Rose in Tacoma.
I hope that shuttle driver also writes for the Oakland Tourism Board. Mm-hmm. White girls, this is the place to disappear.
I told it before. That was me in Norfolk.
Yeah.
Pulled over to ask the cop, and he just goes, lost, huh? Yeah. All right, follow me back to the highway. You shouldn't be in this neighborhood.
Told you, my grandfather, my grandparents on my mother's side lived in Norfolk, Virginia, which is where Ted was. And years ago, grandparents are still alive. And my father thought it'd be funny to ask my grandfather, so what do you call someone from Norfolk anyway? My grandfather did not miss a beat and said, M-bomb. That's what everyone else says.
Yep. Subject is anniversary. Anniversary. Today is mine, Angie, and Guy's 13th anniversary that Mr. Steve the Thrill Hill officiated.
Damn right.
We don't do anniversaries.
Are you me?
Yeah.
That's why I sent them an email back knowing we don't do anniversary. They called me their good luck charm, and I said the only reason you're still married is because I officiated your wedding.
And, you don't give anniversary shout-outs.
We don't. We don't do it.
No,
we don't do it.
That's definitely what it was.
That's right.
I can't believe you're still married. My God.
Guys, my daughter Michaela turning 11 years old today. Could you please give her a little kid fish sandwich? She loves listening to your station. Lots of love from her mom.
Fish sandwich!
Guys, can you wish Alicia a happy birthday from Steve? How about your penis is too small and a fish sandwich? She's also getting a full replacement surgery in a couple of weeks. So can Ted give her a pep talk, letting her know she will be more machine than human now? Thanks, guys. That from Steve O.
Full replacement on what?
I'll have a fish sandwich.
I believe shoulder. It says should, so I think it just got kind of cut off there.
All right, we'll go with shoulder. Whatever it is. Look,
The surgery is going to suck. It's going to be tough. It's going to be rehab. You got to put in the time. Now, the good news is when it's done, you're going to feel like a new person. You might be out there like Henry Rowan Gardner, and all of a sudden you could pitch for the Cubs with that new shoulder. You never know.
I've never heard of a shoulder replacement. I've heard of knee and hip.
I guess it's still a ball joint.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I've never heard it either, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I just feel like I said, my Uncle Tim, who's pretty active, right? He just turned 70 maybe.
All right.
But he's a pretty active guy, and for a few years there, his knee was killing him. He got that whole knee replaced, and it's like a spring chicken out there running
My
around.
uncle said the same thing about hip.
Yeah.
And he went there in the morning, and they let him out at like 1.
The only thing is, and this is what it's hard to, is you got to talk to old people like their children now. It's like, you got to do the rehab.
Got to do the
Because
rehab.
my dad was always talking about getting it, but me and my brother would go, well, you don't walk.
Right, you're not going to do
It's
it.
not going to help.
My father, man, he for like the last year, he couldn't even stand up straight because he'd been told, man, and he's got to get a hip replacement.
All right.
And even when I saw him in April, same thing, man. He, just didn't stand up all the way. Really distressed my mother. You would think the world's coming to an end, and I get it. About 3 weeks after we visit, he went to a different doctor. They said there's nothing wrong with your hip. It was a torn labrum. Now, brother's fine. He sounds happier. Everything. He gets back to doing what he wants to do.
Hello, guys. My husband, Caleb, listens to your show religiously. Today, he is 29 years old. You gentlemen have got him through the roughest of times while being away from home on active duty. It would mean the world if you all gave him a big happy birthday. He'll be doing some military training soon. I was wondering if Coach Ted could give him some advice on how to get through being absent during the upcoming Sounders playoff season. Thanks a bunch, guys, with lots of love. That from Scoot.
Well, obviously, you're probably a season ticket holder, so you'd like to be there. But how are you going to get through this one? I mean, honestly, might be pretty simple. I can't imagine making it past the opening round at this point.
It won't take long.
Yeah. Got to string together more than one win a goddamn month. Sorry.
Gentlemen, please wish my nephew TJ a happy 38th birthday. Have the Dirty Germans tell him what they're going to do to him in the restaurant freezer. Love you guys, and see you at Live Day as Live Day goes to prom night. Lots of love. That from Julie. Oh, I hit the wrong freaking button. There we go.
Yeah, what we're going to do you in the freezer tonight, you're going to play the role of William Shatner, and we're going to reimagine what T.J. Hooker would have been.
Yeah. So you know what? He's a actor who plays the part of a bagel, and I will play the part of the dog.
Yeah.
Stuff is in that bagel.
Yeah, it might be cold on the outside, but you'll be warm on the inside.
And honestly, since Germans have worked in restaurants, we're just going to blow some weed smoke in your face.
Patolas, it's my unlucky Penny Dennis's 50th birthday today. Can he get a fish sandwich medley and the Dirty Germans with some advice on keeping it hot in the bedroom at his advanced age? Much love, guys. That from his 4-leaf clover, Danielle.
Can I get
A fillet of fish sandwich.
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich?
Do I get a fish sandwich?
With the cheese and the tartar on the side.
I want a fish sandwich.
Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side. I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning. At noon. And at night.
Can I buy you a fish sandwich?
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Yeah, listen, even in your advanced age, one of two ways to keep it hot in the bedroom. One, you can turn up the heat and do it under the covers, or just imagine you're having sex with someone else.
Yeah, see, the thing is I think it's this age of 50 afterwards, you should have the wife join you for a nice long hot shower.
Yeah.
Really relax on a Monday night.
Yeah, maybe even just do it in a bath.
I'm probably going to do that tonight. Not the sex part, the shower.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty German.
Your mic keeps cutting out.
Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Bob. Let's get a contestant on the line now for your guess is as good as mine at 206-803-ROCK. Couple extra emails here. It says, hello from Denmark.
Hello.
Patolas.
What is the Denmark accent? Your best guess right now.
Hello.
It's got to be kind of Swedish, right?
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome to Denmark.
Patolas, guys, last month my wife left me. A few days ago, I got fired from my job. I have 3 months to figure out my next step in life. It's been a horrible time, and I've been alone.
Then today, looking over the podcast and ran into you guys, I can't believe I forgot you all these past 2 years, but you have no idea how much hearing your voices made me smile today. For 2 decades, I used to live in a place north of Seattle that made flying turds, and I listened to you all since 2004. Then I fell in love and moved to Europe. I do miss Seattle, but I miss you guys so much, and how you guys made me laugh and got me through a lot in life. So now, after life took another dump on me, I found a smile and a laugh with your familiar and hilarious humor. Of course, it might be the snowflakes I smelled a few minutes ago. But still, in all seriousness, I miss you guys, and hearing all you guys gave me peace and familiarity in a very bad time. So I'm living in Denmark now. Might end up in the States by the end of the year. We'll see. Who knows? Glad I found you guys again, listening to you every day from now on. Sorry I forgot, but life brought me the laughs, and I needed that and got it from you guys. Keep it real, and I'll be listening from over here in the land of the wind, rain, and bicycles. Love you guys. That from Nick.
Well, hey, man, look. Sometimes life sucks, brother. We have all been there. As a guarantee, deal with it, but you're old enough to know it does get better. Just deal with it, man. Right now, you're in the hangover stage. Eventually, your body rights itself. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's tough.
And if we're wrong, well, geez, I don't even know what to tell you.
People say it can't get any worse. And then
it can. Don't ever say that out loud. You know, sometimes you have a bad day and you go, what else is going to happen? And in the moment you say they get hit in the head with a back of the head with a rock.
Yeah, you think you hit rock bottom, and then you go to sentencing.
That's very true.
I saved.
The arrest sucks, but you got to be kidding.
I realized yesterday on the rain for 5.5 hours that I had one cigarette I was saving for like an hour and a half.
Right.
That I'm going to light. So I'm out there. It's raining sideways. The wind's blowing. Like, now it's time to have this cigarette. And right at that point in time, my lighter died. I've had it for like 6 months. It's like the lighter that never died. And then all of a sudden, like...
Did anyone have one?
No.
God, that is just the worst.
Yeah. All right, time for a little Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. It's an easy game to play. You pick from one of 2 categories and try to get as many right in said category before 3 strikes and you're out. Steve, who is our contestant? Ready to play Your Guess Is As Good As Mine.
I'll assume it's his name and not an ethnic slur. Hello, Mick. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Nick, welcome to the program. And Your Guess Is As Good As Mine. All right, your categories today. We're going with diversity in states. They basically looked at all kinds of things, from racial to ethnic diversity, languages that people speak, where people were born, economic factors, the types of industries included, the type of job, worker status, how many people live in your home, religious and political leaning, all those things.
City or states on that?
These are the most diverse states.
Okay.
Also, on that list, Mick, you have the states with the least diversity, if you want to go there. And then finally, our third category, the 10 best cities for vegans and vegetarians. So that's pretty well set in stone as it is. Restaurants, affordability of vegetables, farmers markets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So where are you going? You going, oh, by the way, October 1st, World Vegetarian Day.
Oh, cool.
That's why I brought the category up. So you're going to go vegan, vegetarian, or diversity in states?
Let's go with the most diverse.
Okay.
You want for the most diverse?
You want the most diverse or the least diverse there, Mick?
Most.
Most diverse. Okay. You know the factors. Basically, 50 states and 6 key diversity categories. Socioeconomics, that includes both income and educational attainment. Cultural, which looks at racial and ethnic diversity. Language is spoken where people were born. All kinds of different factors in there. So these are the 10 most diverse states in the United States. Mick, what is your first guess on Your Guess Is As Good As Mine?
I'm going to have to say that it would be the good old Washington State.
State of Washington not in the top 10.
For diversity.
For diversity.
Man, I would go like California, New York.
How about, California was going to be number 2.
California's number 1, Nick.
Hey. New York?
New York is number 8. Now you're getting it.
I would think.
I'm going to go close to the border and say Texas.
Texas is number 2. Nice job.
Like I said, there's ways states are projected, but they're certainly diverse. I would think Florida's probably on that list.
I mean, think about it this way. You guess New York. There's more Puerto Ricans in New York City than there are in Puerto Rico.
That is correct. That's not a joke. Yeah, honestly, I mean, considerably more.
We're saying diverse anyways.
Say Florida.
Pennsylvania?
What's that?
Pennsylvania?
Nah.
It's not a terrible call because of Philly and Pittsburgh. Maybe try Maryland.
Yeah, just based on the federal jobs and everything else.
Is that where, like, Washington, D.C. is?
Yeah, Washington, D.C. is directly between Maryland and Virginia, but I would think Maryland more than Virginia.
It's in the Maryland side, and like the county I grew up in used to be the blackest county in America, so pretty diverse.
Until Ted moved there and ruined it.
Hey, that's all us Smiths.
So is Ted saying Maryland then?
Yeah, Maryland.
Okay, let's go with you, Ted. If you're wrong, then that's my third strike.
All right, Maryland, number 9. There you go.
There you
Good
go.
call. Okay.
All right, look, again, I would say Florida. I do not know this, just my guess from having been there.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of somewhere that's... I'm thinking of, like, almost military status because one of the more popular states for that might be, like, Missouri or places like that.
No. Category, Mick, is diversity.
Right.
Not inclusion.
Let's go Florida. Screw it.
Florida, number 5.
There you go.
So far, Mick, you're correct with number 1, California, number 2, Texas, number 5, Florida, number 8, New York, and number 9, Maryland. So you are halfway to home, 2 strikes, and 1 left.
See, now, with what's confusing me is the fact Washington was not on there. California is an obvious one. So I'm questioning Oregon.
I would
do not
do
pick
it.
Oregon for
No Oregon, no Idaho, no Montana, no
Right,
Wyoming.
just stay out of the Northwest.
No
when it comes
North
to
Dakota,
diversity.
no South Dakota. Diversity, no Colorado, no Oklahoma, no Nebraska,
Idaho.
no Ohio, no Iowa, no Arkansas.
No Tennessee?
Tennessee? No, not even close.
Yeah. All right, Ted, I'm going to guess Massachusetts.
How about Michigan? No.
How about New Jersey?
New Jersey's number 4.
All right.
That's so obvious.
Yes.
It's funny, New York and New Jersey are there, Pennsylvania's not.
Pennsylvania's just so much bigger.
Right, that's the entire difference. All right, hang on here. So we got Maryland. God, I have a hard time.
You know, I'll throw out Delaware.
No.
Nah.
I mean, honestly, it could be something kind of close, like Virginia or North Carolina.
Virginia?
No. All right. North Carolina's a no.
We got Texas, we got Florida, we got California, we got New York. Those are the obvious
Think
ones.
West Coast Hispanic.
Arizona.
Arizona's number 10.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Somebody here, I like this. Hawaii.
Hawaii, number 3.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, listener, I dig you at 7-4.
Crazy thought. What about Nevada?
Nevada, number 7.
New Mexico?
New Mexico, number 6. You guys got it. You want to take a quick stab real quick at the 10 least at first? Just go white. Idaho, not on the list. Oregon, not on the list.
Alabama,
not on the
It'll
list.
be there. I'm going to say North and South Dakotas.
North Dakota's number 41. Mm-hmm. No South Dakota.
Really?
What about Montana?
Montana, 46. Minnesota, not on the list.
How about Vermont and Maine?
Think about states with no big cities.
Iowa.
Vermont, number 47.
Yep.
Maine, number 49, the second least diverse.
Iowa,
44. Good call.
Arkansas.
Diverse, man.
Arkansas, not on the list.
Right. They said there's a way you are presented through whatever filter you want to watch your information from, but they're diverse.
Yeah.
Did we say Idaho?
I said Idaho.
That is not right.
Not there.
Yeah. Think about VD. He's a white supremacist.
Wyoming.
He's a white supremacist. Yeah, right, sure.
That's him, man.
Yeah, right. All the way. He's back there going, what the hell? Why would he say that? Religious-wise, what state?
Utah.
Now you're getting it. Kentucky, 45. New Hampshire, the least diverse state In the
West
United
Virginia.
States. West Virginia.
Wow, dude.
Oh. It's every time. I mean, it doesn't matter what the survey is.
You can't win anything.
I know. It doesn't matter what it is. Obviously, they're not wrong. It's just like, man. Coming up on Drink and Toast with the shot of the day, you are listening to The Men's Room.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, couple of minutes, we'll drink and toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check on Mike Hart and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, thank you, Miles. There's an article that theorizes that humans could descend into cannibalism by 2060.
I saw that. Why wait?
Why is that?
I'm not working on it, Ted.
Are we laxing the rules?
You know what?
Because I'm hungry.
Yeah. Well, actually, when you read the article, they say, look, depending where you are, to be that type of serial killer that does it, but then they bring up other countries where they're like, maybe it's frowned upon, but not necessarily illegal. It is not internationally illegal for you to eat another person. Like, you can't murder people necessarily, but shit, you find. Maybe it's like roadkill. Yeah, the bicyclist got hit, and if you choose to take them home, cook them, and eat them, then they go, well, it's your right. Yeah, I read through that whole article. They're just saying if society collapses, it said all the doomsday stuff that's never changed from the beginning of time. Like, that's what people do. And I'm like, well, yeah, if people get desperate, that's exactly what you would do.
Also, a massive meteor could come in and just hit the earth, and then we're all gone anyway. So.
If I drop dead in my house, can't feed the dog, my money says my dog will eat me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Damn dog.
Show they will. Now, they will sit there over your dead body.
How do they do those studies?
You know what? That's a good call, dude.
It's not that I disagree with what they're saying, and it makes complete. When you want to survive, you will do what you have to do to survive. But when you say we did a study, I'm like, that would imply
it might be study of reports of walking into homes.
Like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
that'd be where I would start.
I hope that's what it is. We're looking for 100 volunteers and their dogs.
We're just gonna kill Gary and see how long it takes for his dog.
Who do you think gets you first, your dog or your cat?
Oh, my cat. 100%.
Yeah, I would say the cat.
Studies have shown that your cat will wait less time.
I feel like your dog would mourn a little bit.
Exactly.
The cat's like, but it's tasty.
Right. Oh, that sucks.
The problem with dogs,
it's not here, but
cats just wait for you to die to eat anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, and the problem with the dog is you're right. I think the dog would be sad.
Sure.
But then if somebody comes over and he starts living in their house, within like 3 days, that dog's forgotten. That's my life now.
A new study found people tip more digitally as opposed to when they pay cash.
Well, sure, because most people, you have more digital money than you do cash.
Also, they throw out the suggestion on the tip.
Right, that's where
they give you typically 3 options that, you might even tip more than you would if you didn't know that was the right percent.
It depends. If I pay with card, a suggestion pops up. Now, when I pay with cash, they leave it up to me.
Right, and when you think about it, when you go to a restaurant, the general rule is what, 15, 20%, whatever it is.
18 seems to be the standard.
Exactly, right? But that's the only one that actually has for really standard. But then everywhere else is like, would you like to tip 10, 15, or 20%? Like, I'll give you $1. Because that's what I would normally do if I was paying with cash. Throw one in the bucket if the person at the cash register was nice. But other than that, so that's why I've actually started doing this. Like, depending on where I'm at, I will go to that custom tip area. Yeah.
Just set it up for yourself.
There you go. Heard about this earlier, but Costco got its own Monopoly board and it promptly sold out. It's gone already.
All right, that's in no
There
way
might be a few in stores. They sold out online, they said.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what store I'd be most inclined to buy their Monopoly. Like if they advertise. Is it
Trader
Target,
Joe's.
where everyone goes? Trader Joe's is strong.
And Target actually does have a Monopoly board.
Of course.
I know that because I have it.
Oh, cool. Well, I think, honest to God, I think Costco is probably number one.
Yes.
Home Depot could be a good one.
Yeah. With Home Depot, instead of going to jail, it's like go back to Home Depot. You forgot to buy
That's just
the
Home
other
Depot.
thing that goes with the thing.
No, you bought the wrong thing the first time.
Or you didn't buy enough soil. You're back.
Oh, no.
So that instead of going to jail, you have to go back to Home Depot because you forgot to get right.
Oh, Lord.
Costco, too. Now, granted, I recently got a card, but it's the only place like you want to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? I've been 2 weeks in a row, so I was like looking for an excuse this past week. Like, well, I do need this, and it's like, wait a minute, we don't have to go all the way there just to buy one thing.
You're right. Like the kids love Target. I understand why the kids love Target, but we're there out of necessity.
Yeah.
But you can let the kids wander off because they see a million things. The grocery store, I don't do that. Home Depot, I don't mind because there's some kind of project I want to get done. It doesn't mean I'm going to enjoy the labor of it, but I'm like, all right,
sure,
let's get what we need.
Not to mention that's one of the best smelling stores on the planet.
Depending where you go.
Yeah.
Head to different areas.
You bet, dude. Look, we try to be confident with ourselves, but let's face it, some of us are we're insecure people. And unfortunately,
not Mike.
As much as we try to hide it, just like that, there are actually signs.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 dead giveaways that you're an insecure person. How about being unhappy for others' success? Is your life so terrible that you can't even fake it for a second and say, congratulations, good job? Even, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Do what the rest of us do when someone else has good news. Smile politely, then go home. Pour 3 fingers of whiskey, light a smoke, and then plot ways of destroying them.
Damn. So this was actually a Reddit forum that basically asked, what are some dead giveaways that someone is insecure? We do have a handful of your answers here. So basically, trying to control everything that their partner does in a relationship is the last one that we have here on the list. Putting unreasonable restrictions on who they can speak to, hang out with, or interact with on social media. That's been one of the major insecurities that we've seen in relationships over the millennia, is just putting a gate on
insecurity
your person.
has always been the same, but with social media and so many various ways to communicate with people now, it's just more glaring, I think.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Like, you may have been a jealous type of person, but pre-cell phone, there's nothing you could do about it. You just sit at home and stew. But now with cell phones, you can reach out to them. But now with cell phones, you can take a picture of where it is you're at. Right now with social media, who's on your Facebook profile? So I don't think anything's exacerbated that. I just think there's more ways for a paranoid person to be paranoid.
Well, and that goes for all factions of life, and definitely in the insecure sect of our society. Is like, yeah, you can see that your partner is out at a bar, at a party, or something like that, because everybody's posting it. Not to mention, people are stupid when they post about it, and we secretly love to see when people are being scandalous on there. So. In the back of our brains, we all believe, like, oh man, it's happening to me. So
but also scandal sells. Like, how many times do you go to TMZ to tell you they're still happily married? I mean, nobody cares. You only go there to see the train wrecks of life.
Right. Making yourself smaller shows up on the list. Trying to disappear into the background, since it's normal because I'm speaking from personal experience. I wouldn't want to be noticed or talked to.
Mike, we notice you, but we don't want to talk to you. You're fine.
I know. That's why
absolutely fine.
I try to keep quiet, and I try to just kind of blend in with the paint.
With the paint. Wow. Damn. It's nice gray.
That's right. I'm just here. Hi, everybody. Constantly talking. Nobody here in this room does that.
No.
They constantly talk about how good they are at everything that they do. One-up stories. They always know more or spend more money, which...
You find those people, but
I don't know if I'd call that so much an insecurity as I would just... They're just trying to dominate the conversation. Now, if they're talking big like they know about something and then they clearly don't, like if I know more about a subject than they do, but they're acting like they're some sort of a professional on it, that's an insecurity that I would see.
But I think the insecurity with it's important. You believe it's important that other people know that you spend more money on this or whatever it is, all right?
Right.
Which nobody cares.
No, nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn. Again, these are dead giveaways that you're an insecure person, as according to a Reddit forum. Overacting on social media. Basically, specifically, in constantly sharing mundane photos and stories of themselves. Says, you know who I'm talking about? This isn't the people who just make one post daily for their few followers. They're talking about the people whose entire personalities are on social media and showing off on it.
Yeah. I feel like that's kind of died down a little bit.
It is.
But there's definitely people, right, that's all they do.
Right. Here's an update on my day. Like, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Show me a picture of what you did.
Left home early today, wasn't feeling well, had a headache, gonna go home and rest. Why are you telling me that? Who cares?
What? And you could tell, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that hard to tell sometimes. Like, all right. Hell, I could do it with friends on vacation, right? Like, sometimes your buddy will just go out of town and it's just him. He's not with his wife or family or buddies, and it's like, He's got to be, like, I know he's having fun, but I know he's bored because I just got like 8 texts in a row telling me I need to come on this next trip. It's like, yeah, but you're just at a bar now. I'm like, and look, I'm guilty of it.
Sure.
I went to so many weddings. Sometimes afterwards, like I'm still on West Coast time, like just texting people like, I'm in my room drinking. You want to chat?
I'm lonely.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's passed out, gone to sleep.
Just got Impractical Jokers on the TV here in the hotel room knocking down this 6-pack. What are you up to?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no cat.
I've met a handful of times, man. Saying sorry every time, for everything, all the time. Just, you apologize for every little thing.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
I do. I've gotten better about it, but I say sorry way too much.
I've had friends that way.
And and I don't, half the time, don't even mean to, and I'm not really sorry.
Just so you know now.
Yeah. Just to be clear, I'm not actually sorry.
If I told you that, I didn't mean it.
Just know I'm mildly apologetic about what I did. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, even just bumping into people.
Sure, but that's more of a common courtesy. Acknowledging that, I just bouldered into you.
Sorry, man.
My bad. Move on. Did giveaways that you're an insecure person posting flattering pictures. Now, I didn't get this one when I read it on the surface, but they go into detail. It says they post their most flattering pictures on threads like, I'm ugly. With captions
to try to get some. I was trying to get some love.
I was bullied in middle school, or my significant other says I'm ugly. What do you think?
Rate this dress.
Right. Like,
yeah, that's stupid. But I don't know anyone that goes out of the way to not post.
You mean the ones with your boobs hanging out?
Right.
Okay, I'll rate the dress.
And you're right. People do try to post the best picture, that they can, but when you're just sitting there milking in,
right, that's different.
Please, I feel ugly today. Might delete later. Like, shut up. It's okay to post the nice photos, man. We all want to post the nice photos.
Tell those people delete now. You look like ass,
right? But it kind of goes back to the studies that Ted has talked about on like the Social Dilemma and the other programs that you watch. It's our addiction that we need. We need that positive affirmation. I don't feel good about myself unless people are telling me how good I am.
And sometimes it's not real.
No.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you look so great. Like, nah, I don't look like crap. You don't have to lie.
Don't blow smoke, man.
It's all right.
I never lied to you, ass-looking.
Jealousy. It says people often forget jealousy is a normal human emotion.
It is.
It depends what makes you jealous.
Yeah.
Inevitably, people are jealous. I mean, we understand that. But if it's over nothing...
Right.
Or your weird perception, or if you're just going to be jealous because a situation happened, like, that's on you.
And I think it's also reacting to your jealousy. Look, like you said, we can all be jealous. Look,
right.
if somebody that you like, maybe your significant other is hanging around somebody who's more attractive than you, more successful
Which
than you.
Which could be anyone, yeah.
Right. And then there's a small amount of jealousy there, but also...
you don't act on it.
Correct. Like... As we've discussed, those are inside thoughts.
Yeah. I mean,
get over your bad
jealousy
self.
is a tough one, too, right? Because, especially within relationships, there is some times where it's like, all right, like, that does not make me, like, I'm not comfortable with that. Like, you get, like, and then it's like, well, don't be jealous. It's like, okay, but we can also acknowledge that, like, my jealousy's kind of founded here. Like, we're going a little over the top with this relationship.
Right. I'll try not to be so damn jealous if you could respect it just a little bit.
Stop kissing him.
And there's right. And
I don't think that's too much to ask.
And there's a difference, right? People can go out and
we're at church,
talk to other people, even flirt. Like, there's a difference between flirting with people and just chatting with somebody.
Correct.
And sometimes, like, you can't, it's a hard argument to win. Like, look, I can't explain it to you, but you're obviously flirting with that dude. That is not just a conversation.
Right.
You'd be pissed if I was doing it with that chick.
Constantly posting how amazing your relationship is. We've heard it time and time again. The couples that post their relationship all the time on social media about how happy they are, how great their relationship is, especially if it's like, so glad I left that POS for such a wonderful person. Like,
I just assume they're going to break up, but I don't interpret it as jealousy.
No, it's not jealousy. This is just insecurity.
Insecurity, right.
You clearly are just you have to prove to everybody how great your relationship is.
But
because
I don't feel like they're posting it for the public. I feel like they're posting it for their current significant other to see.
Positive affirmation.
Yeah.
But it's kind of both, because you're kind of just essing on the ex, too. Seriously.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You post something, I post something like, never knew women could be this amazing. So glad I found her. It's like, right, well, my exes are going to see that and be like, yeah, just like, you guys suck.
But that's why I posted it.
Yeah.
And then this is the number one dead giveaway that you are an insecure person, and it is the never-ending competition. Always having to one-up others. Always having to be better, having a bigger problem. It's just you're always in a worse situation, or you're always better than other people, which is ironic.
Yeah.
You either are have it worse, or you're either doing better, and it seems to be the same people that have that going on too.
Yeah, right. It's always that, or they just kind of blow off what you're going through. It's like, all right, well, we're not going to really be friends.
Correct. Right. Why don't you open up to me? Well, because my problems weren't good enough for you to listen to them, so.
Yeah.
Peace.
Your problems are bigger.
A man in St. Louis held up a Mexican restaurant, and you'll never guess what he walked away with, Miles.
What did he get there?
Tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
You know, it's funny, as I was making the appointment to come today.
I'm sorry, I made the appointment.
I made the
I booked the appointment.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1, exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Big time it is. As usual, we head to the drink test can. Steve will throw a hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today, we toast, you'll appreciate this, an anonymous basketball camp coach in Austin, Texas.
All right.
Now, it was a 5-day camp, and on day one, she asked one of the kids what his name was. To be fair, she asked every kid what their name was, but this kid, he responded with weed. So she did double check, and he repeated weed. Odd name for sure, but as she put it, quote, we're in Austin, not so shocking. She called him weed for 3 days.
All right.
Until she found out that he had a speech impediment.
His name was Reed. Jeez.
Damn. Okay, Reed.
What's up, weed? You doing all right?
Sorry, choking there.
All right.
Yeah, 3 days she called this kid weed. So, like, hey, all right, weed, throw the ball. Kid never corrected her. She found out later another coach had to come up to her and go, hey, man, I don't know if you're doing this to be funny. His name's Reed. She's like, oh, my God. So, yeah, man. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola, bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Steve will throw a hill. Could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Jamie. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Jamie, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Today, you have your choice of one of 3 stories. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in the food? Hit Me with Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon. And finally, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
I think I'm going to go with, let's go with Bite Me.
Third time today someone said that to me, but at least yours is with respect. Here's your story. We go to West Midlands in the United Kingdom, where a grandfather received, quote, a scare when he opened a bag of broccoli, and not just because there was broccoli in the bag. In addition to the offending broccoli, there was a live animal in the bag. Now, the grandfather, one Neville Linton, he said discovering the animal was, quote, frightening. He said he bought the broccoli at a local Aldi grocery store, and put his meal in the fridge for 3 days before taking it out to prepare a meal. That's when he discovered the creature inside. Relatives jumped in and scooped the animal up. Now, he and his sister popped it into a plastic container, drove it back to the Aldi where it had been purchased. Neville said that he was offered some compensation, but he stated that he was asking for more. What more is, he did not make clear. A spokesman for Aldi said all the things that they're supposed to say that we already know. It's not our policy to have surprise animals inside of packaged food, etc. Right? I mean, and I know they have to make the statement, but we're like, we know. The question is, what living animal did he find in a bag of broccoli after 3 days of being in a refrigerator? Was it a caterpillar? Was it a bat? Was it a snake? Or was it a toad? So caterpillar, bat, snake, or toad, one of these 4 things was in his bag of broccoli, which, from my perspective, was less scary than broccoli.
Okay. Jamie, I'm going to go snake.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was leaning towards, too, myself. What about you, Ted? What are you thinking?
I'm definitely thinking it's a snake or a toad. Caterpillar, I don't know. That doesn't seem as scary. Like it's like
those big orange and black fuzzy ones.
Well, scary for you, punk.
Thank you, Ted.
Yeah, I think a bat and a snake would be the most scary thing to find.
Okay. So what are you gonna narrow it down to?
You know what? I'm just gonna go with bat.
Bat for Jamie.
You know what? I'll go with the scary caterpillar. Screw it.
Ted's going caterpillar. Boo.
Thank you. I appreciate you doing that for me.
No problem.
What was the scary animal? Was it a scary caterpillar? A bat, a snake, or a toad? We're going to find out next.
That was a tease.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category is Bite Me, I'll profile this. Stop it. UK granddad opened up a bag of broccoli,
but it had a live animal inside. The animal survived in the fridge for 3 days before he decided to cook it. They took the critter back in a box to Aldi's. Question is, was it a caterpillar, a bat, a snake, or a toad?
And that is a question we pose to you, Jamie. Let's start with that punk-ass Dita Smith.
Oh, damn it. Was it the big, scary caterpillar?
It was not the big, scary caterpillar. I don't know why the bugs you. No.
All right.
Let's
scare
see.
me.
Jamie, you went with the old bat. I'm afraid not. Although bats have shown up in different food products, which I find amazing. Miles, you went with a snake.
Yeah, scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's not common, but I've heard that one before.
Yep. Snakes and spiders seem to be the...
I'm not taking a toad back.
And toads.
I'm not taking a caterpillar back. I'm letting it go outside.
But you're not taking the toad back to say, hey, brother, listen, it's not that this animal in and among itself bugs me. It's that it was in my bag of broccoli.
By the way, that broccoli did not come from the UK. So wherever that animal came from is not really, indigenous to that area.
Yeah,
it's like they inspect your produce and everything else. You're going through the airport and make sure you don't bring a banana back, whatever.
Yeah.
You release a caterpillar out in the wild that came from like South America or something in UK.
Yeah.
That can't be good either.
I don't think anything you introduce to an island nation is going to be good.
No. Now for all TV news all the time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. A lot of stuff from the weekend, a lot of sports and everything. I do have to say this. Like, obviously, I'm going to talk a little NFL here and Taylor Swift and who she's dating. But, and nothing against my Coug buddies or anybody else. I went and watched Washington play in person on Saturday. That, for my eyes, the only two I have, that might be the best college football team I've ever seen play in person. They are that good.
In that game, they certainly were. I think we'll get more of a sense of who they are because they have a couple ranked teams coming up.
Right.
That said, I'm not worried about them. It's just the score would not be that big of a blowout.
Well,
but
also
they're a tough.
The three games that I thought would be good games were here in Pullman and in Oregon, and they were all just absolute blowouts.
Oregon's a good team.
The Washington State Oregon State was a good game.
It was a good game.
That was only like a 3-point
I
difference.
like their unity. I like the unity they had. We're big rivals, all this, but when you're down to the quote-unquote Pac-2, they're like, hey, man, we got each other. I love all the signs that were held up, like Pac-2 championship.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I thought it was pretty cool. I know Washington State's band learned like their fight song and stuff.
Right.
So a lot of good stuff
It was really
going on.
cool.
The Colorado game, you're right, Miles. People were very excited. I did not watch that much of it because my Maryland Terrapins were on national TV like they are every week.
Sure.
I was obsessed with the fact that I think a bulk of the country was tuning in Saturday evening or afternoon to watch Ohio State and South Bend to take on Notre Dame. And first, they had to watch Maryland finish off Sparty. I was like, this is great.
They did, though. Good.
There's so many millions of eyes on us right now that would never watch a Maryland game. But, yeah, went over to the Husky tailgate. Went to 2 different tailgates. Awesome time. Husky fans were fired up. And then, look, I knew they were 21 or 21 and a half point favorites. By the time we got to our seats, they were already up 14-0. And then the offense hadn't been on the field yet.
Let that sink in.
Correct.
They were up 14-0.
Wow.
The offense had not taken the field. I don't care what team you support. If your team does that, you're feeling real good about your chances.
Yeah, and look, me and my buddies, we just bought a 4-pack from the Huskies. I did not have good seats, right? I was way up at the 300 level and everything, but it was awesome. There was a couple listeners up in that section. People were fired up, and I just, my buddy obviously is a massive Washington fan. He went to school there. He used to work for the athletic department. I just told him, I go, this is probably the greatest team I've ever seen with my eyes. Now, to put that in perspective, I saw Tim Tebow play in college on a Florida team that still had Percy Harvin and Aaron Hernandez and this stuff. So I've seen good teams, right? I saw a LSU team play at night that was ranked in the top 5. But I'm telling you, man, and look, don't get me wrong, I was a little buzzed up, having fun.
Yeah.
But that offense it basically looks like Washington, when they want to move the ball, they move it at will. And I was just like, Jesus, this might be the best team I've ever seen with my own eyes, college-wise.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and have you guys ever been to Husky games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to one. No, I've been to one. I've been to one years ago.
I sat by the USC band. Oh, my God. They need another tune. Man, the whole game long. And you could look over and go all right, there's lots of attractive people here in the band and your fan base.
Of course.
God, please stop playing that song.
That's all they play, though.
I know. The entire game.
Right. I had, there's a listener of our podcast. We had him on a couple weeks ago when Cobb was out of town, and he played in the SC band. First question I asked, I said, do you have to play that song all the time? Right? Because they're always throwing up the 2s or the peace sign or the 2 or whatever, victory. And he's like, listen, when you get into the band at SC, the first thing they teach you is if there's a quiet moment, you play that song.
I believe him.
But right, if you can hear my voice, look, it's not easy. People got stuff going on. Go to a Husky game this week or this year. I know the 14th you got Oregon coming to town. That'll be a massive matchup. And nothing away from look. The Cougs are rolling. They got a nice win. I'm just telling you, the Huskies to me are just on another. You look at that team play and you go, all right, that's a team that's going to play in a national championship semifinal.
They should.
They should. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Colorado, I don't think Colorado's the fraud that people are calling them. I think
they're not a fraud.
I was shocked they won 3 games in a row. Oregon also is probably just that good.
Oregon is that good.
Correct.
They're pretty consistently that good. Oregon just wanted to put the kibosh on it okay, you're coming to our house. I don't know if you know this. We know you're feeling good about yourselves. You got Coach Prime, all that. We're Oregon. Time to play.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready for that team, they will whip your ass.
Let's see. Usher has been announced that he's going to headline the Super Bowl halftime show. He said it's an honor to finally check off Super Bowl performance on my bucket list. Can't wait to bring the world a show unlike anything they've ever seen from me before. Thank you to the fans and everybody who made this opportunity happen. I'll see you real soon. This is his second halftime appearance. He also performed with the Black Eyed Peas when they headlined back in 2011. Right. Super Bowl 58 goes down February 11th at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. That same day, this will blow your mind, Usher's releasing an album called Coming Home.
What?
His first new album since 2016. I have said this before. Also, generally, Taylor Swift's not going to do the halftime show because she's already famous enough. It doesn't need it. Generally, when you see somebody perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, they probably have an album, but they for sure have a tour coming up because they don't get paid. They'll spend their own money, but that tour will almost automatically sell out the next day.
And their downloads will go up to the point the next day.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. That people really don't mind. And frankly, the Super Bowl, it's like one thing I always liked about Saturday Night Live is there is some musical artists and stuff that are outside of your genre, which you listen to. So it's cool to see them on there. And same thing with the Super Bowl. Like, I bet there's a lot of people that didn't know The Weeknd, and then he had that performance, and then Miles is right. Like, his download shot up, his tour sold out, this and that.
A question about this. A regular NFL fan, you do have an opportunity to go to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It's not easy, it's not cheap, it's all those things. But with it being in Alliance Stadium, that F1 race, you're talking about it last week, Ted, as far as just, you might not have a ticket. The cost of a room that faces the route. So where you can watch it. This is an international fan base that's coming in and buying those tickets. I wonder how hard it will be for the average person to get a hotel room in Vegas. Let's say the Bills go, right?
Yeah.
So the Bills Mafia go, they're going to travel well, or Miami, or whoever does well. That's going to be one of the hardest, I believe, Super Bowl tickets, just as far as an economic standpoint. After you buy the tickets, after you get a hotel room.
Right, and there's already people that want to go there to Vegas.
Just to go.
It's February.
Whether your team goes or not.
Right, correct. I'm just saying the general fan of the team that goes. That is not going to be easy to get in.
No, and look, that's what happened with this F1 race, right? There's a lot of the hotels on the Strip where they're going to race down that people just saw the date of the race and just bought those hotel rooms. And you're right. When you have an international event like an F1 race or the Super Bowl, right, there's money coming from all these other countries and this and that like you just don't even think about. So you're right. They're going to have all those nice hotels and this and that.
Well, it's funny. They were talking about that yesterday a little bit, and they said people that live in Vegas that are Raiders fans, they said the hardest ticket to come by is tickets to the Raiders game, because they said they realize around the country, once the schedule comes out, the first thing people look for is if you're playing Vegas. And if they are, it doesn't matter. They book the tickets instantly. So they're like, if I hem and haw with my family, hey, baby, do you want to go to this game? But if it takes her 10 minutes to say yes, the game's already sold out.
Well, you did it, right?
Goddamn right I did. It's the first game of the league. But I thought about that when they said it. I'm like, that's exactly what I did. The Ravens were the first team to play the Raiders in their new stadium. And I remember I told my wife, I'm like, oh, my God, we're going. You
live in Salt Lake City, and you have some direct flights. Maybe you fly to Denver to catch a layover, or Chicago, or Dallas, whatever. Almost every airport flies direct into Vegas and flies direct into Orlando, just based on the destination.
That is correct.
So you can get there without having to go through Atlanta or wherever the hell you got to do.
You can probably get a direct flight.
You can just get a direct flight and go to those locations, so people want to go.
Yeah. Let's see. Obviously, there's a lot of NFL stuff on Hawks. Not a bad performance. Wasn't the prettiest
win to win.
Wasn't the prettiest game. They're 2-1 now. Obviously, 2-1 looks a lot better than 1-2. Or hell, after that first week, I was like, if we go 0-3, we're screwed. Yeah. But I would say the biggest story of the weekend in my personal life would just be that Justin Fields just sucks. I keep having faith in him. I'm going to stop that. I said that last week. I promise this week. The Chiefs obviously rolled. Travis Kelce is dating Taylor Swift. She was at the game, and Patrick Mahomes was asked about it.
Do you realize how much pressure there was on you today from the Swifties to get Travis Kelce a touchdown with Taylor in the house today?
Yeah, I heard she was in the house.
Did you feel the pressure, Patrick?
I thought a little bit of pressure, and so I knew I had to get it to Trav. And, of course, it's on a route that Travis, he does his own thing and just makes up a route, and I throw it to him. So I think he wanted to get in the end zone just as much as all the Swifties wanted him to.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I guess, do you have to go back to, maybe DiMaggio dating
Marilyn Monroe?
Right, I'm trying to think of the last time an athlete was with the most popular musical artist or female, arguably, in the world.
Tom Brady with Giselle.
But
she was the number one
model,
but still made more money than a lot of these artists.
But she had no personality. You did not know who she was. Yeah. She made a lot of money. Yeah. You knew she's pretty, but you never heard from her. Where Taylor, whether you like it or not, you have to hear about and or from her all of the freaking time. And she's earned that. That's fine. That's great. But I think it's a much different playing field.
Yeah, and I'm with you. Supermodels are supermodels. I just don't think they have the same popularity.
No.
People know their names and everything, but Thrill's right. She would sit in the booth and then leave. What was it, after one of the Super Bowls? I guess somebody was giving her craps. She said something. But, right, you didn't know much about her. With Taylor Swift, you know about Taylor Swift. I mean, look, the poor woman can't do anything. I don't feel bad for her. I'm just saying
either.
She can't go anywhere without it being in the news. You know what I mean? Like the funniest thing I saw was there was a picture of her eating like a chicken finger and said with ketchup and seemingly ranch. And then like seemingly ranch was like trending for like a day. And it's just like, yeah, like, all right, yeah, she's a normal human at a football game. Like,
she likes football.
Right, you know what I mean? Like, she grew up here in the
Eagles
States.
Fan. Yeah. She's an Eagles fan.
Is she?
Yeah, and always has been. So, and I understand for a lot of people seeing her at a football game. Look, whatever. She means absolutely nothing to me. And that's not downgrading her. I just don't care. But I certainly recognize that she's the biggest thing on earth. But she is a football fan.
Yeah.
And now she's dating a cat that plays football. The irony is that his brother plays for her favorite team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, think about that.
Well, I think
that's probably what she's trying to do. Get it in there.
Yeah. I think sometimes, too, whether you're dating somebody or related to them, you will all of a sudden become a fan of that team, and it's allowed.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, look, I never really cared about Ole Miss. My nephew goes there now, so yeah, screw it. I'm an Ole Miss fan.
There you go.
Yep. You know, and it's same thing with Taylor Swift or Miles. I know one of your daughters went to San Diego State, so you got into
basketball, football.
Yeah, you got into San Diego State football.
Hope they win. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. So right. Hell, if Taylor Swift's dating a guy that plays for the Chiefs, wear the Chiefs jersey. Even though the brother, does play on your favorite team, but hey, we'll see how that goes. Let's see. There is 2 Monday Night Football games on tonight. Again, I'm not positive why it started off this week, but the second and third week you have 2 games. I think next week is just the Hawks. Yeah. So, but yeah, if you like football, you can go home and enjoy that. And it's a classic kind of rainy day out there. I was going to say the Eagles and Bucks are playing right now. And then also you're going to have, what is the second game?
Rams and
Bengals. Which, if Joe Burrow plays, should be a good game.
Side note, if you want to see my brother get wet, watch, and I mean from rain.
Pornhub.
Not a Pornhub. He's doing the Bucks-Eagles game.
Oh, is he?
Oh, he's getting dumped on right now. And I know it sounds bad. I do love my brother. I do. But getting hit in the face with a football, getting dumped on in the rain, it brings me so much joy.
I didn't know you'd like to get wet, Dave.
Yeah, wet Adrian.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Missouri man points gun at multiple people before stealing one taco from a taco stand. Meanwhile, a Tennessee man says the 20 vultures on his roof, that's more than he planned. Shirtless man steals a golf cart and leads police on a low-speed chase. Drunk man drives car into a liquor store and snacks type of place. And a teacher is caught with meth in her scrunchie at family fun night. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
Top story, we go to St. Louis, where a man knew exactly what he wanted. Witness reports that a man walked into a local Mexican restaurant and brandished a handgun. The weapon, luckily, was just a BB gun, but with its realistic look, it doesn't really take away from this situation. He pointed the gun at multiple customers in the restaurant before settling on the woman behind the counter and demanding some delicious food. Not wanting to wait any amount of time, the man grabbed the meal that she was currently putting together for another customer, declared it his, and walked out of the restaurant, leaving the eatery one taco short.
You realize if you stole the taco, if you ran into the restaurant, snatched the taco out of someone's misdemeanor.
Right.
You've made a taco a felony.
Correct.
Sit home, think about what you've done. Like, look, you want to commit a felony? Make it good. Steal a Lamborghini. Try to knock over a casino.
I'm going carne asado.
For the fences.
Yeah, carne asado.
You're going to get a felony for stealing a taco. That's what, and I say there's 2 things that I said I would allow if I'm president. If they get naked, you can tase them because they made it weird.
Of course.
And 2, there's an additional charge for stupid, right? So, hey, we know you pulled out a gun and that's bad and scared people. And I would, as a judge, you can say, wait a minute, you pulled out a gun. Oh, yes, Your Honor, I did. And you got a taco. Okay. Another 90 days. It's just 90 days. Because you're stupid.
Right.
That's stupid.
Educate yourself.
Jesus, man.
Miles, you go carne asada.
Well, if I'm going to do one taco.
That's not a bad call.
I like a shoulder.
I'm going chorizo.
Like a braised shoulder's not bad.
See, man, I love chorizo forever, but whatever. After I turned 30, now all of a sudden it's upsetting my tummy a little bit too much. I'm starting to get
too spicy.
It's getting indigestion, man.
Yeah,
it's not spicy. Like on the tongue, it's fine, but in the gut, it's angry. I'd probably go
Same with barbacoa. Doggone it.
Oh, barbacoa.
Love barbacoa.
That's worth the
I've got
felony.
carnitas.
Okay, that's the
Carnitas.
thing.
Yeah.
Let each judge make a decision. If you got carnitas, we'll keep it a misdemeanor.
But why not 2 tacos? Or 3?
Right.
Like, why just 1?
Why just the one?
Was it a matter of the time that you had to wait to get
Yeah,
the other
he
2?
snatched the order that came out.
Okay.
Right.
So if you got like a party box,
Just
he makes
mad.
off better.
Who just orders 1 taco? I'd be mad at the person in front of me.
I got a felony
Come
for
on,
this.
man.
What are you doing,
It's
man?
1 a.m. You got 1 taco?
I got it.
I should have stood behind the bigger guy.
Meanwhile, down in California.
Well, seriously. If you're going to do that, man, manage your stuff, right?
And I will say, as much as I love tacos, I would probably go for the burrito instead. I would go for like a chicken or a carne asada burrito.
You'd wait?
Oh, yeah.
If I'm going to jail for a felony, I want a taco bowl.
A burrito's
I want the hot
a
sauce.
bowl wrapped in a tortilla.
It is. Meanwhile, down in California, now I'm all hungry. Universe sent a message to one man that he needed to cut himself off. Reports came in to authorities after a man crashed his car into a local liquor store. While he was believed to be under the influence of alcohol at the time, ironically, he managed to make heads shake even harder as he walked into said liquor store and attempted to purchase alcohol. Police did eventually arrive and take the man into custody, revealing a blood alcohol content of 0.32.
Okay, see, I take 90 days off a sentence.
Oh, yeah?
You're stupid drunk. You're irresponsible, but I appreciate that you're like, I'm here.
Did you say 0.32?
0.32, 4 times the legal limit. He was messed up, dude.
I mean, I've been places where people had a breathalyzer. You'd be shocked how
much you have to drink to get 4 times
correct.
the legal limit.
That's
Yeah.
that's a lot.
You have
That's
a
lethal
problem.
at that point.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Right. I like how I was in this room like, dude, you have a problem. You got to quit drinking so much.
But that's the point. If we're saying that,
Right.
then you have a problem.
Bro, you got to slow down. That's bad for you, man. You're going to die.
Yeah, right. You're taking it too far, dude.
Still in California, local authorities found themselves in a chase that was more annoying than anything. Reports came in of a shirtless, shoeless man that was driving a golf cart with the word security stickered on the side and causing a disturbance on Ventura Boulevard, weaving in and out of lanes and even into oncoming traffic. All while seemingly under the influence and holding a mid-sized dog in his lap. After 10 miles of refusing to yield to officers, he ditched the cart and took off on foot, which lasted about as long as you'd think because he still had the dog in his arms. He was taken into custody, and I love this. The article did make sure to mention in its final sentence that the dog is innocent and will not be facing any charges.
I think it's amazing a golf cart can go 10 miles.
No kidding, dude. That's it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Sit and Spin with the lovely Taryn Daly, who's coming up next.
Yes, indeed, it's all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this pitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.